Oh no, that's the wrong one. No. I meant to do the air horn. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G, and I'm alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast where we are here to talk about a couple of things. I'm just gonna jump into it.
Whoa.
How are you doing? This is the first time. Well,
I mean, I'm tired because I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. Well, I woke up at 6:30. Sped over an hour to my doctor. I had an unexpected doctor's appointment. It was a lot going on that I wasn't expecting to do today. So I'm kind of like out of it. Tired. But at least I got everything done today, you know? Like I just got it was literally a annual adult checkup examination, gyno, and set up my blood work this week to get blood work. So, everybody just be responsible, take care of yourselves, get your annual checkups. Girls, go to the gynecologist and get your pap smears and all your checkups, and then get blood work. They say in your mid-20s you start getting blood work. So you haven't gotten blood work yet, right? Like for tests. Like, do you want to see I can show you later, but I have what they like picked out for me. Like it says right here, CBC different. I don't know what any of that means.
I've gotten blood work in my 20s.
No, but this is like your traditional like checkups to make you look metabolic.
Jesus.
I'm tired. Lipids, your lipids, right? What's that? T4 reflex. I don't know what any of this means. But this is like the stuff you get checked, like make sure everything's good.
Yes, I know.
So everybody do that. Dentist, I need to make soon. Our doctors I already went to in the summer, so. And we about to be 26, so take advantage of the fact that we're still in our parents' plan. So that's how I'm doing. I'm tired. I'm a little antsy. I want to sleep. And I feel like I haven't seen you because I was at the marathon yesterday. Got home at around the same time as now. I think I got home later. Then today I was out and I got home like an hour ago. So I haven't seen you. I missed you.
So let's get into it.
Have you missed me?
We're going to start with something fun before we get into
annoying.
something
Fun. Maybe.
depressing.
Oh, our first topic?
So...
Yeah, let's talk. You have Kanye, right, on your list? Like our first topic. Is that what you mean by fun?
Yeah, I was just gonna do Kanye and Travis for this whole episode because there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to.
Unless you want to get the Jeff Bezos thing out the way first.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about that first before we get into the deep topics. I just wrote down Jeff Bezos and Leonardo DiCaprio because I just thought it was funny how you saw the video clip. Mm-hmm. How body language says a lot. As a woman, just stare in a man's face like that. I mean, maybe she really was starstruck.
That's Leonardo DiCaprio. I would have looked at him like that too. Cause
imagine, she looks pretty young, so she probably grew up watching all the movies. Like he's in a lot of movies, a lot.
Leo is the man, and he has the most. I wouldn't even know what to call it. He has like the most elite NDA system in all of human history.
Really? Why? What do you mean? Like, you never hear
nothing about Leo.
And he probably be like out here.
He's a thought.
How you know? Probably because he can.
How do I know?
Wait, is he in a relationship?
You saw her. Hopefully he's not.
Yeah, because his girl probably mad. But
I don't think so. You saw how she was looking at him. What you mean?
And the funny thing is, if you watch the video, you could see instantly Jeff Bezos look away. Like, he was mad uncomfortable.
That's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Can you know? I hate to be this type of person.
He made Titanic.
You know that girl's only with Jeff Bezos for his money. There's no way his personality. I don't know who she is, but she just has that look. She has that, like, plastic surgery look. Like, you could tell her lips and, like, boobs look like they were, like, done. She looks relatively young. Like, compared to, what was the other girl's name? Mackenzie Bezos? Wasn't that? Something with an M. They came up together, like... She was there. She helped build Amazon,
Maybe the new girl just likes people that look like a Q-tip.
No. She likes the billions.
No, she likes the Q-tip.
And he moved on kind of quick. Jeff Bezos moved on quick. But
people say that.
Let him have his thought era, but...
People say that, but at that point, it's been over.
Divorce takes a while.
It's been over. It's been over for a long time. By the time it hits the public, they've already been not messing with each other.
And by the time you decide to divorce somebody, that's how you know it's bad. Nobody just divorces because they want to divorce.
It's mad work and busting down
and money,
hundreds of billions of dollars. It's crazy.
So maybe Jeff Bezos just wants us to be a thought now that he has the ability to be a thought. I feel like a lot of people are like that. It's unfortunate, but it happens a lot with celebrity men and like athletes. Like they make it and they know they can get girls, so that's when they start like leaving behind their date one girl and they start wilding up because they can. So I
He's
feel like,
probably already like that. That's the thing.
yeah, but think about it. Now he's Jeff Bezos. Everybody that's like a household name.
But Jeff Bezos been Jeff Bezos even before he had the.
Yeah. But that's the thing. While he was married though, and he probably was like itching to get out there. He's like, all right. He's been married basically throughout his whole, like he's been with her before Amazon was even a thing. So he's been locked down. And now he wants to be a thot.
Allegedly.
And now he wants to be a thot.
No, he just got caught. Just like Bill Gates. Bill Gates just happened to get caught.
Yeah, the Bill Gates divorce is I'm like,
because you know the thing?
It's crazy. Like they always say when you get rich, to make being rich fun is having people around. It can't be fun to now be single and you don't know who's using you for what. You can't leave behind your day ones.
Because the thing is, and this is for everybody to know, if you catch somebody cheating or somebody gets caught cheating, you didn't catch them the first time that they got caught. Or wait, no, you didn't catch them the first time they did it. It was never. Bill and Jeff been out here wilding. First of all, Jeff Bezos, I don't know about Bill, but Jeff Bezos was a hedge fund manager. He'd been getting to the money in general anyway. Like,
but you wouldn't know
New York
that.
is
That's
sick.
the thing, you wouldn't know that. I mean, you would know that because I guess if you're a girl, you know the clubs to go to where people with money go to, and you probably will run into him.
That's like a known thing. If you go to specific,
like clubs,
allegedly, and this is not something that I personally know or do, but allegedly, if you go to specific streets and avenues in New York at a particular hour, then there's a group of a specific type of people.
Yeah, I heard about that. Some girl did it on TikTok. She was like, she I think it was like back to work. She was making a joke. She's like, ooh, the hedge fund managers or like whatever, the analysts are back at work, and she like was walking by an office building at like 5 something. You just see everybody outside about to go to their happy hour. I'm like,
yeah, they get sick. You go over to.
It's probably easy too. All you gotta do is camp out of any place in Midtown or downtown where you know there's like office buildings and just camp out.
The real place, and this is all alleged, but from what I've heard, what I've ascertained is if you go over to like Turtle Bay, Third Ave, like over in that section, is that like, Murray Hill? Murray Hill's over there.
It's not like the area that mirrors that.
That's like, I wasn't gonna say it, but
yeah, but people, I'm not gonna say where she works, but that's like over there. Like, yeah, kind of like it's like Midtown, but like off to the west.
Yeah, because the tourists aren't over there, so that's allegedly where they go.
Like kind of like west side.
But you saw Jeff's response though, right?
Yeah, he was just playful, trying to get a viral tweet.
Yeah.
The whole cliff thing.
Told Leo to jump.
Oh, he's gonna knock him off the cliff.
See, but if I'm Leo,
at least he's playing around. At least he's playing.
If I'm Leo, I'm scared now because
okay, he's
Jeff got robots.
Yeah,
he about to shoot a laser beam at Leo.
Knock on wood, but if Leo, something happens to him in the next few months, we know what happened. It wouldn't be a coincidence.
Jeff about to go into Amazon files and find his address.
Yeah, that's what people said. They like he can't have an Amazon account now. He can't order nothing.
Yeah, no, it's already too late. Jeff got the AI robots on the way.
But yeah, I was actually just talking about that yesterday, like during the marathon. Because during the marathon, we walked through Central Park, which do not recommend walking through Central Park at night. It's dark and scary. But we had to cut across from where my mom was. We had to get across to the west side. So we were on the east. Sorry, we was on the west and we had to get to the east. So we crossed over, and we saw Billionaires Row. And then I was just I was surprised my dad never heard about Billionaires Row. I'm like, aren't you a New Yorker? You don't know where Billionaires Row is? Like that's literally like that infamous, all those things. Like it's not literally billionaires living there, but that's just what it's called. Like it's known for like rich people. I mean, I'm sure billionaires are there.
They definitely.
But I'm surprised he didn't hear about it. I'm like, it's literally those line of buildings on the bottom part of Central Park. Like it's literally like it's specific buildings that people know. Like there was this girl on TikTok whose parents are rich. Yeah, people noticed immediately, like in the background of her window, that she was in Billionaires Row. They were like, "Oh, you rich? Like you live in Billionaires Row." And she was like in the comments, like confirming. And like, we found out like her family owns some businesses or something. So I was surprised my dad didn't know about it. But when we were walking through the park, we were just talking about like money and like, the whole taboo thing. Like money doesn't buy happiness. And I'm like, it doesn't. But I think if you have people that like are genuinely like a part of your life, then you're cool. The only reason that saying is even a thing is I feel like that saying is literally a thing to justify people who don't have money, to bash people that do have money, because I'm like, I don't get, like, I get the saying, but I feel like that's like kind of meant to like justify that, right? Because a lot of people with money, I get like they don't really have family members because they spend all those years like grinding, and they end up people getting left behind during those grinding years, but a lot of people don't. Like you take the Kardashians for example. That whole no, I'm saying they're good examples. At least like what I can respect about them though is like they came up together though. They, right? I think that's a good example. That they literally emphasized that in their show. They said like, okay, what's the problem? What's the problem?
I didn't say anything.
Then why are you head down?
Just keep going.
No, I'm saying like at least they have each other. Like even no matter what, if everybody hates them right now, like everybody tries to cancel them all the time. At least they have each other. They have a big family. Like think about Kim, 4 kids. That's 4 kids. Think about Courtney. She has I think 3 or 4. And then you have Stormy and her, and then the son's coming next, or the daughter, whatever. And then you have True. There's mad kids. Then you have Dream. Like at least they have a huge family, and like so even days when they're sad and the money can't fulfill them emotionally, they have a family. I don't know why. Like what's this whole people hate the Kardashian thing? Like I still feel like you can respect their family unit. You don't have to like the Kardashians and think that's a good example. What? If you're gonna have issues, then say something. Instead of just making facial expressions.
I didn't say anything.
What's the problem?
I didn't say anything.
Then why'd you slump over after I said that?
Keep talking.
No, that's an example.
I didn't interrupt you.
Wait, people who are not watching are listening, and you need to get across with your emotions because they can't see you. People who are listening.
I don't have any emotions.
No, but you just slumped over. People who can't see, people who are listening can't see that you slumped over. So you have to express why. If you're mad about, then why am I said the Kardashians? You laid over to the side.
Why is it the first group of people you went to?
Because I remember specifically they talked about that. Like a lot of rich families, they're not in the public eye. You don't hear about what actually be going on behind the scenes and if they actually have each other's back. Like, because there's billionaires in their family. They got 2 billionaires in their families. Like, we don't hear a lot about billionaire families. Like, you hear about Will and Jada. They're not billionaires. Like, you don't really hear about billionaires. You have, I guess Jay-Z and Beyonce could be another example too. Like, they got each other and they came up together. So, like, they're a good example too. And they have their family. Because that's what I was saying. Like, the whole money doesn't buy happiness thing, I feel like goes out the window when you actually do have family that brings you happiness. And I only brought up the Kardashians because their family is huge. Like, they have the Jenners, they have the Kardashians. Like, they have a whole big family unit. And there's mad of them. Like, there's so many. I'm like, who's this? Like, who's. Like, Kendall and Kylie have, like, I think, like, a half brother. I'm like, who are these people? I didn't even know any of these people. Like, I just showed you how big their family is. So, I just respect that they have a big family. I like that. Because then at least when you guys are going through it, man, everybody hates you, like how they hate them right now. They have each other, you know. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I feel like with the Jeff Bezos thing, I don't know. I feel like these women are gonna just keep using him. She's about to get her body done more and go to Chanel for lunch to go just to get a bag. But you know, I don't know these people. I don't know her. Maybe she does think he's cute with his lazy eye. I don't know. But his. You call him a Q-tip too off camera. I'm telling you about you call him a Q-tip. It was that on camera.
I just said that on camera.
Oh, oops. Sorry, my brain's little. I have brain fog. Yeah, maybe she thinks he's cute. This is what he look like. All right, look. Does he look like this? I'm a little delirious. But yeah, I just think this is a good example of money doesn't buy happiness because that's what everybody was saying. Like even you with this billionaire and they say your girl's still choosing. People in the comments saying like Leo still could take her because she might actually find him attractive, you know, or she could just been Star Trek. What do you think?
Or it could have been nothing.
Yeah, or it could just be she's just a flirty person, or that's just how she is, and we just reading too deep into a 2-second clip, and Jeff Bezos is just going along with the jokes.
And also, who cares?
Yeah, no, but it was a podcast.
No.
We just talked about current events. Ew, where's this in my hand? I think it's glue for my wig. All right. So, I guess I'm so sorry. I'm hungry. I'm chewing into the camera. I feel like I've been eating these last 2 podcast episodes, but I just don't have time to eat during the day. So this is the only time I end up having time to eat. But I guess we could go into Kanye's interview. So yeah, we just wanted to cover that topic, but we're gonna talk about Kanye and Travis pretty much for the rest of this podcast. Because it's a lot to talk about for both, right? Like, it's a lot. But let's start with Kanye since that's more of a lighthearted topic. If you guys didn't know, but you should, because I don't know how many million views they got now, but Kanye was on Drink Champs with, is his name Noriega, but they call him Nori. I think that's like his lifelong friend.
Sad.
I know, right? I'm a Kanye fan. I don't know Nori. I mean, I heard the name Nori, and I know of him, but I never really knew the story and who he was. But he has a show on Revolt TV.
Go listen to his music.
Okay, I will. He has a show on Revolt TV called Drink Champs. And this is actually my first time hearing about it too. Like, I didn't know about Drink Champs. I've probably seen clips and stuff, but anything Kanye, my eyes light up.
Sad.
I don't care. So, oh, sorry. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I told y'all she's abusive. Y'all think
Dude,
I'm playing.
I'm in a bad
You see how your
mood.
first reaction to adversity or anything that's against what you
Guys,
believe in is to put your
cut that
hands
out.
on me.
Cut that out.
I'm not cutting it out. I'm not cutting it out.
I don't actually.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I might actually amplify the sound so people get the full perspective.
Okay, that's bad. I already told myself I was gonna stop doing that. I don't actually hit you. Like, we know people who abuse. I don't actually abuse you. Like, we never got no physical. We never got no physical altercation. Like,
I don't know anybody that abuses anybody.
No, we've seen some things.
I haven't seen anything.
I've seen some things.
I've
seen some things. And that's abuse. We just playing.
I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. Don't put your hands on me.
Sorry, baby.
Don't touch me.
Okay, but I just have an attitude today.
I don't care.
But yeah, that's the first time hearing about Drink Champs, and basically they just drink, right? They just try different types of alcohol. It's like a tasting thing, right? Like a taste test. And yeah, Kanye was on there this recent episode. I think it was like one of the highest YouTube live streams. It was crazy. I think at its peak it was like 160K, like towards the end of it when we ended up turning it off when it was over. But it was 2.5 hours. It was pretty long, right? That was a long. I didn't think it was gonna be that long, and we had work the next day. I'm pretty sure we was up all night watching that. But really good interview. I think a lot of people don't actually sit and watch full. Like, if you're not a Kanye fan, I'm sure a lot of people didn't sit and watch that full thing, and they just took blips from headlines and ran with it. Like, so I feel like a lot of people, I hate that. Like, there was a lot of headlines from the show. The biggest thing being Big Sean and Kanye saying how that was his worst decision ever. Nobody actually I feel like watched the full episode. They just watch these, they just get these headlines, and these headlines never give you the good stuff. Like, Kanye was saying a lot of good stuff, like that whole him saying Big Sean was his worst decision. That could be opinion based. That could be a debate. You guys could argue about it. But he said a lot of other stuff that was very good, facts, especially about Black empowerment and about Black ownership that nobody ever talks about. I feel like, besides Jay-Z. And there's a few people out there that do, but nobody listens. So, yeah. What do you think? What do you think was the craziest part? Do you think he said anything crazy? I mean, he did some crazy stuff. I remember we was laughing about how Nori's reaction the whole time. He was holding his brain, you could tell he was "Oh no." But he did say some crazy stuff. But
low-key, I thought that whole. So yeah, the interview, I wouldn't even say it was a good interview. But I think it was he's the worst person to watch an interview show. I can't.
It's I'd be holding my breath. Yeah, it's all over the place.
I don't care about what he says. He's a grown man. I'm not gonna feel embarrassed by something that he said. So I don't even care about that. But it's just it's hard to listen sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't care enough to listen, and most people don't care to listen to anything.
Yeah, you had to actively listen.
So I was actively listening, but to do that for a couple hours is definitely draining. But overall, it was interesting. He did say a lot of things. It's always good to hear from him, especially because we don't typically hear from our legends.
Yeah, and he was ghost for a minute. This Donda rollout hasn't said a word. So it was if most people heard him speak. And literally since this campaign,
maybe years,
yeah, because all that stuff in the campaign stuff was just tweeting. He wasn't actually talking.
Yeah, he said a lot of really good things. Speaking about his orphanage and doing designs and stuff for that, and some of the initiatives that he was looking to move forward to give back to the community. All that stuff was really good. Of course, you're not going to hear about it,
nope.
Given everything else that he said. But he did say a lot of really good things in there. Gave a lot of really good. What I would call OG advice to society and people on, ventures that people should get into and, how people should kind of conduct themselves.
Yeah, I like how he said like how people be like, "This my block," and he's like, "No, it's not. You
Yeah,
don't own nothing on this block. It's not your block. It's whoever owns these buildings, their block." Like black people always like, "This my block." This like no, it's not.
I'm like, nah.
You don't own a single thing on there.
The person that really owns it could throw you out. You
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to do anything
at
about
any
it
moment.
at
Yeah,
any second. So all that stuff was really good. If you siphon through everything else that he said, that stuff was really good. But everything else, it was good to see him having a good time. But that that slander to everybody,
yeah.
I
Just
ain't like that.
Blaze, Just Blaze. What's the other guy?
Just Blaze, Talib Kweli,
Yeah,
Big Sean, and John Legend. I think
yeah. They all got some smoke.
they all got
And Kim's publicist.
yeah.
Which I don't even feel bad about that because I could tell like the Kardashians PR team seems
And the
very
nurses, not the nurses, the nannies. The
nannies, yeah.
Yeah, everybody caught it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I get it because like you come from two different worlds from than the Kardashians, you know. He wants his kids like to be raised by him and Kim, and I know he should know he's busy too. And I know like sometimes nannies do help, but that's not like family. I don't know. I get what he's saying though. He's just you could tell he's just all about family and like preserving a family image and all that. And like he just hates when you have people like publicists involved with that, creating an image. Like a publicist's job is literally to create a brand image,
Why do they feel like they need to though?
sell to make you sellable.
But how?
I feel like at this point, right, you don't need that. But I just feel like you notice the Kardashian Jenners, like they're always in something, and that's definitely in the works of the publicists. They always have something. I feel like to keep them relevant, but I feel like they don't need to do that. Like, how many people dipped for years and came back crazier than ever? Like, you don't need to do that. People are always gonna be watching. At this point, you kind of establish yourself into society. Like you don't need to make all these stories. You don't need to be pretending you're dating Pete Davidson for to sell Skims. Like Skims is doing great without all that, you know. So I don't know. That's probably why Kanye doesn't like it, but Kim has to sign off on it too, you know?
Yeah, but to delve more into what I didn't like about it.
Yeah, you can talk about, like, I know you are a huge Just Blaze fan. We literally were just talking about that. Remember? We were going to the movies, and you were playing me
I
all
was
his
playing you
beats.
mad just
So that's what he said that stuff. I was looking at you like,
Yeah,
Okay.
nah.
So you could talk about that.
Yeah, I don't even like the word. I don't even like to use the word love. Oh God.
Babe, you can say love. 'Cause I love you. I love Kanye.
Okay. So yeah, Kanye is definitely number one for me in terms of artists, people I listen to, people I try to mold my music that I make around my favorite form of production. Push the genres. We don't even need to. We could give flowers for days, for weeks, for years. We could give flowers forever. But this, I would say, would be one of the rare Kanye L's, where I feel like, starting from, I guess, maybe the people that people don't know, because Big Sean I'll do last, but people, what he said, John Legend, right?
Yeah, he said John Legend.
John Legend, Kweli. Okay, so yeah. I would say in terms of the Just Blaze thing, for those that haven't been following that, Just Blaze, for those of you that don't know, is one of the greatest hip hop producers ever. If you talk about soul samples and chopping up the drums and making just some of the hardest soul sample beats ever, Just Blaze is that guy. He definitely made tons of hits in the early 2000s and even all throughout, like, even in the 2010s, like that No Love instrumental that he did for Eminem and Wayne was crazy. But Just Blaze is just an amazing producer. He like his live drums. I literally have tried for years to try to replicate his live drums. I'm getting in my nerd bag. Skip ahead if you don't want to listen to it. But I've tried to replicate
some of the songs that he did. Touch the Sky.
I've tried to replicate his live drums forever, and I just haven't been able to ever really do it. So me, I'm a huge supporter, because I'm trying not to use the word fan anymore because I'm not a fanatic of anybody, but
supporter, yeah.
I like, I'm very supportive of his work, and I definitely do admire what he's able to do production wise. So with that being said, Kanye's coming at him out of nowhere and saying that he copied Kanye on the Blueprint. Now I do understand what Kanye is saying.
Did he say he's a clone?
Did he use that word?
Or did he say that about somebody else?
Because if you really want to talk about it,
And he's also said he didn't get credit. He felt like Kanye said that he felt like he didn't even get credit for the Blueprint. He was like, did half of it. He felt like all the credit went to Just Blaze.
Which is interesting because I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah, if anything, most people associate Kanye with Jay-Z as far as production.
Yeah, I don't think but you know, again, also too, I wasn't outside of that time, but this is more so me going back and listening to a lot of that stuff. Like I was hearing it, but I was too young to really understand what was going on. But all those Just Blaze beats on like the NBA Live video games and soundtracks, he did NBA Street. Like I grew up on a lot of Just Blaze beats. Like, and I never heard even back at that time that anybody was giving any credit to him for carrying that album. But basically, Kanye said that Just Blaze copied him because Kanye did the first half, and then everything else after that was basically a clone of what Kanye did on the first part of the album. Now, personally, and I'm sure I'll get killed for this if there's any sort of hip hop nerds out there, but personally, I think that the way that I don't even want to go out on this ledge. I kind of high-key don't want to go out on this ledge. I just think that Just Blaze, his beats sound like bigger than Kanye's. Not necessarily better, because what I was going to say, and I can't say that, is that I like the way that Just Blaze chops beats better than Kanye. But I think Kanye's able to pull more out of a sample than Just Blaze, if that makes sense. Like
you feel like Just Blaze is kind of more like sound.
Like, it sounds good. Like,
yeah. Like I didn't even know I didn't know he did Pump It Up.
Yeah, Lord knows, all that stuff. Yeah. Like, it just sounds bigger. Like, it sounds anthemic.
Yeah, like it sounds like full.
You
like
hear
Kanye
it.
sounds like cool, but it sounds like, I don't know. It's like you said, it sounds more. The song sounds more full.
Yeah, like the Otis beat doesn't sound like Lord knows, and to me, I don't know. It just seems like two different styles. But anyway,
both good though.
Both great.
Yeah.
Both excellent, top tier producers. Basically, I just didn't like it more so because I kind of felt the same way that Jay-Z, because Jay-Z responded to that as well.
He said he could feel how he wants.
Yeah, he said Kanye could feel how he wants, but with the Blueprint, the whole idea of the album was for people to make soul samples and make soul sample beats. So if everybody's making soul sample beats for an album that's supposed to be cohesive, it's kind of like no shit that the album, one producer sounds like a producer on the same album if it's all supposed to be the same thing. Like that kind of...
Obviously, Just Blaze is like talented, but he just was trying to conform to a sound.
Yeah, like...
Keep the cohesion, because albums were more cohesive back then than they are now.
And then when you look at the evolution of Just Blaze's sound in terms of soul samples and stuff like that, I think that Kanye wouldn't be able to do the same thing in terms of... And nobody kill me, but I'm saying in terms of the way just the way the beats sound. Like, I feel like Lucifer, for example, by Kanye, is a great song. I mean, not by Kanye, but by Jay-Z, but Kanye produced it. It's a great song, but the sample in itself, in the loop, is very basic. It's just Lucifer, it just keeps doing that the whole song. Not that the song's not good, but if you take that versus Just Blaze's sample style, it's completely different. And if you were to put the two beats together, I think people's preference may be different, but what sounds actually better is typically a Just Blaze beat, in my opinion. And hopefully I don't get killed for that. But basically I hold Just Blaze in high regard, so I didn't like that.
Yeah, and Just Blaze was kind of sad.
Just like, where'd this come from?
Reading his response. Like,
he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Like, his first sentence literally was like, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What did I do? And
then for him to say that they were about to just work on something together. And it's like, well, why is he catching this stray? Weirdo.
And that's why I really love Kanye, but sometimes I don't know. Like, you are entitled to your own opinion, but it's like, say that to the person's face. Like, don't catch them off guard in an interview. Like, if it's beef or if you feel some type of way, I think they would respect it more if they heard it from you first before you went on an interview saying that. It's like, whoa, I just saw you. I just talked to you. Like, where's this coming from? I feel like it's kind of weird.
And the other thing, too, is that Bink is a producer that made and kind of birthed a lot of that stuff with Kanye. and he chimed in and was clowning Just Blaze because he was like, yeah, you were this, that, whatever. I don't have the exact quote, whatever, but he was on Kanye's side, basically shitting on Just Blaze, which is also unfortunate because I hold Bink in very high regard as well because he is a great producer. I think that he never got the shine that he kind of deserved. And I think that he's responsible for the greatest hip hop beat of all time, which would be Devil in a New Dress. So, him chiming in, I didn't like that either. It's more so I just don't like when people
like,
that
he's like on him, like on his meat. You think?
Bink hates everybody, so it's just tough because like I love Bink as a. I hate to use the word love. I admire Bink's work as a producer, but I just hate that part of him where it almost seems
He's like a negative type.
He almost seems like salty that he didn't get
like that household name.
Yeah, but when he made like he kind of birthed a lot of that stuff.
And didn't get his like flowers.
And didn't get his just due. And I actually, he was talking the other day. He was on the Joe Budden podcast. I never heard of Bink.
Yeah. I probably heard the name before, but you would think I'm as a huge Kanye fan, I should know. But sometimes I just focus on, so I just zero in on Kanye and not really anybody else. That helped a bit.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't like when people I admire that are all really good at their craft are like beefing over an album that came out 20 years ago. It's like, what are we doing?
Like this album came out in 9/11.
Like what are we doing?
Literally 20 years ago. I was 5. I was 4, about to be 5, and now I'm 25. And you guys are still talking about this.
Yeah, and
it's a crazy perspective.
I'm gonna keep powering through that because that was a long soliloquy about Just Blaze. But with Talib Kweli, for those of you who don't know, a great rapper, has had a great career. Did a lot of songs with Kanye. Maybe not a lot of songs, but he definitely did some songs with Kanye and his earlier albums. Like, I don't know if he was on Graduation, but he was on albums.
College Dropout.
Yeah, like it might have been Late Registration. I don't know if it was College Dropout.
Oh yeah, College Dropout was first. So yeah, man.
But Talib is a great rapper. But basically Kanye shit on him and said that Common is vastly better than him and that he never liked the way Kweli rapped. And I was like, whoa. And I'm like, that's okay to say because Common is one of those rappers. Like he's one of the top tier rappers ever. And definitely in the top 100, depending on who you ask, people would put him in like the top 50, 40, 30, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what Kweli said in his response. He was like, yeah, like it's great to be put in the same conversation as Common. But to say that you never liked his rap style, it's like, well, why did you have him on your like early albums or stuff like that? It's like weird.
Like, it's just weird because like it's kind of like how people just double back on stuff. Like the whole like, I don't know. I always feel like I always try to relate stuff to like every day, like our experiences. So like I will relate it to like when you stop being friends with somebody, all of a sudden they got all this stuff to say. It's like, wait, then how can why was you like if I'm this, then why were you like if I'm such a bad person, then why were you in my dorm every day? Yeah, if I'm such a bad person, why'd you want to live with me? Why'd you want to do this with me? Like it's like because that's like the same thing with like Ruby Rose, her and her hairstylist are beefing, and the hairstylist said like she's the most evil person she ever met. It's like, well, I'm so evil, then why'd you come on tour with me? You know, like you trusted me, you ate like in my house, you ate my food. But I'm so evil now. Like it's just weird when people all of a sudden have all this stuff to say after the fact. It's like, what happened?
So I don't like that either, and also because Jay-Z, which I think is, well, Nas is Kanye's favorite rapper, but I'm sure Jay-Z is too.
Yeah, Jay-Z's probably up there.
Jay-Z in a song, and I completely forgot the song because I'm having a brain lapse because I'm sleepy. But Jay-Z said that basically he was saying in the line that like if it wasn't for the money that he would probably lyrically be like Kweli. So like even Jay-Z, who everybody has as being the number one rapper, was talking like, about
gave his flowers
Talib's lyrical ability. So
yeah, Kanye's weird sometimes.
He's weird. So I ain't like that. I'm gonna keep rolling. John Legend, I'm rolling.
I agree.
I'm rolling. We're not even gonna spend much time there.
Like everything you see that had to do with politics, like why I don't hear from him anytime until there's election. Yeah,
he's the token black person that is racially ambiguous because if you look at him, you can't tell that he's black, or you can't say that he's white. So he's the token person that they put at any charity event,
or playing the piano, singing his little song. Yeah. It's just like it's so like
he's gonna sing all of me, give you
all of me.
I'm rolling. He's just a pawn, basically.
Sell out, definitely sell out. I never realized until Kanye said it. I was like, yeah, right. Like he really do be like. I haven't heard from him since the presidential election.
Makes great music.
Yeah, he's a good, really good singer. Plays the piano good.
Yeah.
But he let himself become a pawn. Like how? And it's funny too because like his wife is like the complete opposite. Like she literally was beefing with Trump on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just such a funny dynamic. Like how you have Chrissy Teigen beefing with people getting banned from Twitter and stuff, beefing with politicians, talking crazy, and then your husband is literally the token. This is so weird. They should just both get out of politics and stick to music. And what does she do? Cook?
I don't know what she does.
Make
No
funny.
disrespect. I just
No
don't know.
disrespect. Yeah, it's not like the whole, the whole black thing, like to dribble the ball. Like that's not what we're saying. It's like you letting yourself be a pawn, a political pawn. Like these people are just playing you. They're just using you to be a voice for the black people. They feel like you're a voice for the community and that they're gonna get the black vote. That's all they care about. Like Kanye's funny though.
Yeah.
And I feel like also like this will kind of segue into Big Sean. I think Kanye just wanted kind of like it's not like necessarily people. He didn't really necessarily want public support while he was running, but I think he didn't like the whole anti-support. If that makes sense because like the people like him, like I think John Legend and Big Sean like were specifically saying like clowning him. Like, cause I think who said that they didn't even publicly support him?
Push it to you.
Yeah. But him and Pusha T are like best friends. They just said no what thing. I saw like some pictures of them in Malibu. They out at dinner, just them two after dinner. Like they're like best friends. But Pusha T didn't go anywhere dragging his name, saying Kanye's stupid for running. He told him in private, "I love you, but I'm not voting for you." Like, and I think Kanye respected that more than somebody like Big Sean and John Legend who let themselves be political pawns and then bashed Kanye, like making it seem like it was a joke. Like, and even if you thought it was funny, at least don't go. You don't gotta bash him if you cool with him. That's your label mate. That's the person who signed you, and now you on the news or online. I don't even know where Big Sean said anything at, but so I get Kanye's frustrated. He did kind of go in, said some wild stuff. Could to say that you want on your engraved that you want saying I'm only here because I deserve to be here because I signed Big Sean. That's like low level, but that's like below the belt disrespect. Because you not only said that you not only like made the comment, you literally said you want that on your headstone.
It's funny, but it's really not funny.
And also, I wanted to make a side note. Kanye mentioned his death too much in this podcast for me. I don't like that. I'm such a big component of power of the tongue, and I don't like when celebrities speak on their death because then it always seems to happen soon after. It just gave me chills. So, God, please protect Kanye because I don't need that right now.
Yeah, so the Big Sean thing, I thought was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, out of any of those things, definitely the biggest L, because you have the power to drop anybody from your label. Well, first of all, because we already had this conversation, so I'm gonna reiterate the same thing that we already discussed before. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Kanye should have never signed Big Sean anyway. I think that when Kanye signed him, Big Sean's music wasn't. I felt like it wasn't cohesive to what good music was.
Yeah, because think about the songs. He had I Don't F With You. Like, that don't give me Pusha T and Kanye vibes. I don't F With You. Like, that's just so, like, I don't know. That song was corny. And just, like, it don't give me good music vibes. Like you said. Like, all
I'm
his
talking
songs.
about even before that. I'm talking about, like, the mixtapes that led him.
Oh, that got him signed.
Yeah, that got him signed in the first place. I feel like at that particular, like, he should have never been signed.
It wasn't the sound.
Yeah, the music wasn't, like, it just wasn't fitting to me. I will say, though, that Big Sean ended up growing into a person that can make that type of music, mm-hmm. and he's definitely done that. Like, his Detroit mixtapes, at least the first one. Did he drop a second one? I feel like he did drop a second one. The first one, just Detroit, crazy. That's probably my favorite, not even probably, that's my favorite Big Sean project album,
wow,
whatever.
Like ever.
And it's rapping and all that kind of other stuff.
And he's very capable of just the rapping
extremely
stuff.
Capable. Most of his albums are really good.
Yeah, it's just rapping. A lot of it, yeah.
But at that particular time, I thought it was like a weird signing, to be honest with you. But
maybe kind of saw the potential. But like you said, if he already knew what the type of music was, then it's kind of like, I don't know. Maybe he just saw maybe he just liked the rapping talent and just saw potential. But I mean, at least he discovered somebody big. Like, it gives me Lil Wayne vibes. Like, you discovered like a big artist.
I'm glad he did sign him though, because we got a lot of bangers.
Yeah, we got Mercy. That's one of my
I
favorite
got
songs.
the list right here. We got Mercy.
That's literally one of
Hold
my
up.
favorite songs.
Get my mic right. We got Mercy. We got Click.
Yeah, Click too.
Don't
Definitely.
Like.
Literally one of my favorite songs.
And then I started naming a bunch of other random ones. He's on the one, which, you know,
Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay.
we're not going to talk about that one because a certain person's on that.
Oh.
Pretty sure R. Kelly's on that song.
Oh. I said Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay.
Yup.
That's one of my favorite songs too.
Blessings, One Man Could Change the World, Sanctified. There's just a bunch of
Yeah,
different songs where they're all together.
Yeah.
The rest of them are not worth mentioning. But yeah,
But like those are big songs, like Mercy, Click, literally like big songs that people still listen to today.
Kanye would probably make the argument that if you took Big Sean out of any of those songs, that they would still be what they are.
I don't know, because Big Sean had memorable verses in both. Like literally, and it's funny. Not everybody was declining him. Not like after the fact, they were like, "Don't act like you wasn't talking about." What's he say? All those lines he was talking about. What was that song? He's like, build a house, call that. Yeah, I don't want to curse, you know, all that stuff. But what song was that? Was that Mercy or Click? That's Mercy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get the two songs confused because it's from the same album. But yeah, like even like the whole like his verses I think were first in both songs, right?
Yeah, his Click verse was super hard.
Yeah, like when he was like, what he said, coming out the driveway. Oh my god, I'm having brain fog. Why am I having brain fog?
My block behind me, like I'm coming out the
Yeah,
driveway.
like that's a bar. My block behind me, like I'm coming out the driveway. That's a bar. Because when you come out the driveway, your block is behind you.
They didn't even do the knowledge.
Like no, his click verse was crazy. Like I thought it was good. Like I'm sure like Kanye thinks it's good too, but it's just kind of like whoa, that's you guys have literally hits together, and that's how you feel about him. He didn't even give him no flowers. It was all just bashing.
Yeah, there was nothing good.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that was sick. This is definitely a L. Like,
And they just linked too.
Yeah, which makes it even nastier.
But people said to zoom into his face. They said he didn't want to be
Yeah,
there.
he definitely didn't want to be there. But also to double back real quick to Kweli.
Mm-hmm.
Kweli just was catching all those strays, and he said, "Yo, you just hit me to clear a sample."
It's just I don't understand.
This was weird.
Yeah, I don't
Especially
know.
when he's the type, like he said, he's gonna add a bunch of people to a group chat. It's like, why? Like, just
Yeah,
do that then. Like,
just
why
say
you?
that.
You don't need to go on Drink Champs and do that.
And even if you knew, like, I mean, you don't go on these interviews usually knowing what questions they're gonna ask you. But I think if you knew you were about to do your first public interview in so long, and some of those things might come up because you know you're an artist. They're gonna talk about people you worked with. That's usually the same kind of questions. Put that in a group chat, like I said. If you were mad immediately about the John Legend and Big Sean like not supporting you publicly or bashing you publicly, you said you make group chats. Make the group chat right there and then, right? Like what's up? He kept saying it's up. That's his new saying. Nah, I never heard Kanye talk about it's up. He just be. I like Kanye, but sometimes he really just be like doing the most. Cause who's he around? That's his new saying. The whole time he was like, if it's up, it's up. I was like, whoa, Kanye, who is like teaching you the slang? Cause I know you wasn't saying no, it's up. All of a sudden now that's his like lingo.
Yeah, the Big Sean thing, definitely a L.
Yeah,
But
Big Sean, I wonder if he's gonna go and Drink Champs. Cause they invited him, and he said, "Nah, he gotta go on." If he goes on, that's gonna be a good episode too.
He gonna start exposing stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God. They need to talk before he gets.
The one thing I will say is that the picture of Kanye holding the RIP sign is just hilarious. Like,
He was just
there were so
smiling.
many memes that came out of it. Like, I want to use for certain situations.
They said there's gonna be a lot of clips coming from that. Like you know, how, like we
Yeah.
have clips from all his other things.
He
And
gave
did you
us-
see the preview? Did you watch the preview?
I skimmed through it because
I'm gonna have to show you
it
the.
was just a replay of the
No, the last part was new.
yeah. But I almost forgot. But how you feel about him just like giving us about maybe 45 minutes of just Drake?
You know how I feel about Drake.
I don't know. Tell me.
I mean, he didn't bring up Drake first, so I will give him that. Like the interviewers, like you knew that was gonna be the main topic because all like that's literally was been the talk for the last months. You know, like that was big news. So like it doesn't like shock me that a lot of the interview was about him because everybody was waiting to hear what Kanye had to say. You know, we didn't really know how he felt through all this. Like we was seeing the pictures he was posting on Instagram, the group chat screenshots, the bars that he made in the song with Andre 3000. But like we didn't actually get anything from him. So I think people were anticipating that, and the interviewers know that. You know, you want your clicks. Revolt. Everybody wants their clicks. So they knew like to ask straight questions. So I'm not really shocked that was like the top of the conversation, but I do feel like he did just kept mentioning him and other person interview that really had like, that Drake wasn't really a part of, and you could just tell there's really a love-hate relationship between them two. Like I think Drake and Kanye both equally love each other so much that it's like hate, but it's still love at the same time. I'm sure Drake talks about Kanye all the time. Like, you know, like with his friends, I'm sure he talks about him all the time. Like it's one of those like obsessive relationships where it's two people who, you know, they want to reconcile, but the egos are too big, and all they do is just talk about each other to their friends.
The funny part is I don't think it's reciprocated. I feel like Kanye feels that way. I don't really feel like Drake feels that way.
I don't think Drake feels that way either, but I do think like it got to the point where he does now. I think because I think Drake for a while just kind of was like hurt more, like whoa, like it was cool, like why you hate me? But then I think it turned into like yeah, I see what you mean. Because the reason why I even got to that point is because Kanye was more so like he loved him and admired him so much that it kind of turned to hatred. Whereas Drake, it was kind of like he loved him a lot until then it turned to hatred because Kanye started being weird first. So
yeah, and like we've said mad times, for me, it's like if somebody takes something somewhere, because like let me try to think of a real good example.
Like if I take it too far.
So if you take like the Pusha T Drake thing, when Pusha T dropped Added On, it was after Drake dropped whatever song that I don't remember.
I forgot.
And he name dropped Pusha T.
Was it Mob Ties? No, Mob Ties was the album song, right?
No,
that was a beef song. Mob Ties wasn't during the beef, right? No,
that was Scorpion. But they've been beefing for.
I forgot what he dropped. Yeah,
but it was some song, and he name dropped Pusha T's wife.
Yeah,
and then Pusha T's response, albeit it was kind of Max.
Like, I mean, it was Max. It was kind of like he was waiting for that one thing. Like, oh, you talking about my fiance? Or I'm about to go in. I mean, and Drake didn't even say anything crazy about the fiance, but I guess he said he was waiting. He was probably sitting there waiting. I'm waiting for you to say one thing personal about anybody I love, and then it's, you know, everything's on the table. You brought family into it, so now we're going to talk about family. So I respect it.
What I was trying to use as an example is that what Pusha T said about that was that there's no rules in beef, and the person that makes the rules in beef is the person that is willing
to go the farthest.
Yeah, whoever goes the farthest dictates the extent of the war.
Like, and that's what he said in the song. He's like, "Oh, you name dropped my fiance. We're gonna talk about your Beyonce. So you'll talk about mine. We're gonna talk about yours."
So to apply it to Drake, I feel like Kanye trying to sabotage Drake's career early on. Any response after that, in my opinion, from Drake is warranted.
Yeah, because it's like, dang, like, you really tried to, like, stop what was going. Like, the ball was rolling.
And for what? Because you were threatened?
Yeah.
So for me, at least, I don't think that Drake feels the same way. I think that Drake still...
I think Drake still has a lot of love for him.
But now I just think that he thinks it's funny. Because it is funny to see, like, a grown man frazzled.
Yeah. But honestly, in his interview, he didn't give me frazzled vibes. Like, I feel like he definitely has given off being frazzled with a lot of the things that he does and says, especially like the group chat stuff like that. But in the interview, he gave me like...
It was coherent.
He gave me like, he still loves Drake. He respects him. Like, he literally gave him his flowers, like a lot. Like, a lot of the stuff that he was saying was positive things. He didn't really say anything negative if you think about it.
It's just so many times that he
it's just weird though. Yeah. And then, I know it's just weird because it's a whole, like, in one breath, it's like, oh, I love Drake. He's like, you know, he sells a lot of records. He's the iPhone of the rap world. And then 5 seconds later, and then I pay everybody in the group chat and say, I make more money than all of you. It's like he had to feel like the whole making more money makes him feel better about himself over people like Drake. And like, I'm like, how you put your wife in the group chat? Like, sick. How you put your wife in the group chat where all these people say, I make money than all you guys combined? Like, I feel like for him now, the money is tied to his ego. Because, you know, that is a good accomplishment. Being a billionaire is a good accomplishment. And a lot of people can't say that they will do that ever. So I was like, I get it, but it's kind of unwarranted. Like, whoa, why are we on this group chat talking about who makes more money? Like,
especially, what's even crazier about that is that I forget who was in that group chat, but a lot of those people have like a really, really strong hand in helping Kanye be where he is.
Like Virgil.
Like you can't take
You can't,
Jay-Z
like,
and
drag
put him in a group chat talking about money when he.
Was Jay-Z in the group chat?
I feel like I saw somewhere that he was. Maybe he wasn't. But even if he wasn't, then I'm pretty sure they said Kid Cudi was in the group chat.
Yeah.
And it's like Kid Cudi
Virgil, like all these people.
did make a lot of songs on 808s, which he was like.
Which I didn't really even know either until we just watched that documentary.
Which Kanye is so proud of 808s. But like then Virgil too, like.
Yeah, like that was like your fashion friend. Like.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's kind of like unwarranted. Like. Cause that's kind of weird. Like I don't know. There's no reason.
Nobody was even talking about money.
Yeah, like there's no reason.
Like the person that talks about money when nobody said anything is like.
And we know. Like I think his friends and his family, his own wife, like they respect what you do. They love that you made it and that you're doing what you love and became a billionaire off of fashion. I don't think no one's hating on that. So it's kind of weird. It's like okay. I'm sure nobody responded. I'm sure nobody responded. I would just like the message. I would have put a heart. I would have I would just love the message.
I said, thanks, Kanye.
I'd be like, I know. I want to be like you so bad.
Thanks, Kanye, with exclamation point.
But yeah, I do feel like for the most part though, his interview seemed like he was level headed and like I said, it seemed like it was a lot of positive stuff. I do think it was a little kind of weird. Cause you could tell if you constantly bring up somebody, I feel like it is some like love there. I don't know, like it's just kind of like not even, I wouldn't say obsession. But just like, maybe for me though, I think he had a lot that he hasn't said that he just wanted to get off. So I can't blame him. This was his first interview like in a while. So I think he just had a lot that he wanted to just get out there. And, but you know what? I actually saw something. Ooh, I forgot to show you. I actually saw something. I think that he addressed Drake. Oh my God, wait. I just saw that actually when I was driving, but I don't even know I was driving, so I put my phone down. Oh my God. What's that page? I think it's a podcast. Oh my God, I'm typing. Is it podcast for Kanye? No, Kanye. Oh yeah, wait, here it is. I think I saw something like Kanye actually said something to Drake again, like in another clip that just came out. Oh my God, when was that? You know, if I just type in Kanye Drake, it probably come up. Kanye Drake.
I wish they would just fight.
This. Who's that?
Jay Prince. You just said that.
No, that's Jay Prince next to him?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I don't look at me. I'm such a bad person.
You just hear what you said at the beginning of the thing? I'm here with Jay
I
Prince.
don't know. That's just.
I feel like that's not new though. That's today because I feel like I saw that
3 hours ago.
I feel like I saw that video already.
No, they literally just supposed to say. He just said November. What he said? December 7th.
Yeah, but I feel like I saw that a few days ago. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, maybe he did. But I don't know. I just saw this pop up. All the Kanye pages that I follow literally just posted it today. I'm sure the Shade Room probably posted it already right now too.
I could be wrong.
I'm actually shocked. I don't think maybe it is old because I feel oh no, yeah, look, the Shade Room posted 3 hours ago, so this is new. Maybe you saw something else because if you did see it, it's kind of. Somebody said that's shorter than my speech just growing up. You could have memorized that. Yeah, I was reading up the phone. I don't know because I feel like Kanye does this right. But then he's gonna say something shady in like next month, right? I don't know. Like he confuses me sometimes, right?
No.
You think it's genuine?
No.
You think it's a PR stunt? Or you think it's because of the interview? How the interview went? Ooh, I just dropped my
No, I
phone.
think Jay Prince gonna shoot his face off. That's why.
Shoot Kanye, Drake's face?
No, Jay Prince gonna shoot Kanye's face off.
But he's sitting right next to him.
That's why it's a threat. That's why he's standing there looking all menacing.
Yeah. Remember what Kanye said though in the interview? He said nothing's gonna happen to Kanye or Drake. Like they make too much money. That's too many people. This is crazy though. I actually didn't watch it. I saw it earlier. Someone said, who wrote that? It's all promo and publicity. After Astroworld, Drake ain't doing no more concerts. That's not funny. Someone said, blink twice, Kanye.
Yeah, I told you.
He definitely being held hostage. Oh my God. What script is he reading from? Drake doesn't need to join anybody on stage for a while. He look like he's being held against his will. This looks like a ransom video.
It does.
They said he's reading that off of Jay Prince's phone. Kanye know what he doing. I can't. Yeah, he trying to set Drake up. No, see, that's the thing too. That's the thing that sucks about, because I feel like if I was Drake, like I would just be scared about anything, right? Because like you don't know, Kanye really might pull some stupid stunt and like embarrass you, right? You know, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I love Kanye, but he's sometimes a little questionable. But I just thought that was interesting. That was 3 hours ago. That came out. Unless it was, I don't know. Cause you said you saw it, but I'm not sure.
I feel like I did, but maybe I saw something else. I don't know.
Maybe you saw that they linked. Maybe they were together or something.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
And maybe the video actually was filmed that day, but then it came out today. But yeah, it's funny because we were just talking about the interview. So maybe like post interview, like he's kind of on like he's on like a high right now and just trying to make clear the air. But yeah, it's funny because we just talked about Drake. So interesting. I don't know. I think Kanye's at a point right now though where he has acceptance to Drake's career. Like there's no stopping it. He is who he is, and you just gotta respect it. I think earlier it was a lot more competitive because he was trying to hold him back. But now you can't really do nothing about it now. So now I think it's just an ego thing. But they need to talk. They need to talk and be cool again. And Drake needs to. We don't know these behind the scenes conversations, but Drake just needs to literally say how how he felt about every situation. Which he has said in interviews. I'm sure he said it to his face, but like how he just felt hurt about stuff and confused. And get Kanye to have an explanation. There needs to be an explanation. And if Kanye's man enough, he could say it to his face. But I mean, I feel like Kanye is man enough though. He said in an interview he was jealous. Like he said, feeling jealousy is normal. I don't feel Kanye's not the type to like be like, no, I'm not hating. I'm not jealous. He literally said he was jealous. He was jealous of Virgil, and I'm sure he's been jealous of Drake. And if he had said it,
I can never have a Virgil in my circle and hold him back because it make me nervous.
But he said it. Like, I can respect it. Kanye said it's normal. It's normal human emotion. I was jealous. Like I'm the Louis Vuitton Don. Like that must hurt. That has to hurt. Like imagine, like you for example. Imagine you had like a really close friend, like a producer friend, and they make it and you don't. Like that has to hurt. Like and you have to feel. No, I'm saying it has to hurt somewhat. Like it's normal to be jealous.
Low-key, nah.
But if it's your friend though, it's supposed to be different. That's supposed to be your man.
Yeah, not situation because I would look at myself, and that's the difference. Like he's jealous of Virgil, like instead of looking at why.
Like why weren't you?
Why Virgil got that?
Yeah.
Like it's not like he didn't deserve it. It's not like he didn't build Off-White to basically rip apart the streetwear industry, rip apart sneaker industry.
But Yeezy made a huge impact on the streetwear industry also.
But not
maybe more than Off-White.
Yeah, but not at the time it didn't. And certainly not
at the time, yes it was. It was like this Off-White Yeezy surge was literally simultaneous.
Yeah, but Off-White was always a bigger company than
at first, because it was an earlier company, I thought, right?
I'm saying more so because Louis Vuitton doesn't sell. They were never really in the business. They sell sneakers, but they weren't really in the business of sneakers. They're in the business of clothes. Bags, yeah. Nobody ever was buying Yeezy hoodies.
Yeah, it was just the shoes. You're right.
And like, why would a Louis Vuitton want to bring somebody that's making blank hoodies that look like just regular Gildans into a fashion house like Louis Vuitton?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as only like the deconstructing stuff, Virgil wasn't doing anything astounding. He just put in quotations and X's on shirts, on t-shirts.
That's not true. That's actually like very false, and that's the
shame. No, for the Off-White.
That is very false.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know, like for like the actual like jackets and stuff, and like other shirts,
and everything else.
I'm just talking about what was actually popular. Like people who were buying Off-White. A lot of people. It's like the same thing with Yeezy. People who were buying Yeezy weren't necessarily buying the clothes; they're just buying the shoes. People who were buying Off-White. A lot of people weren't necessarily buying the jackets and like anything, like the jeans. They were buying the t-shirts and the collab sneakers, So it's still kind of like the same thing. Because what made Off-White popular was the tees. like the quotation, the deconstructed thing. That's what made them popular. They didn't get popular off of just like their regular designs, you know. But I guess from like a fashion house standpoint, they see the value. But you could tell they only took him in because of the popularity of him and his brand, you know, which makes sense. And obviously they saw talent too. I'm not saying he's not talented, but I'm saying like you had to acknowledge what made Off-White popular was those tees with the big X on the back. And the shoes, the collabs. Am I wrong? Cause look at some of the designs that he did for Louis Vuitton. The same thing transferred over. The quotations, all that transferred over. That's like the staple pieces that people were buying. People were buying like the stuff that literally, like the bag. Like the only thing I see a lot of people were buying were the sneakers and the bag that literally had the quotes on it. I'm just saying.
Because the thing about that is that the people that are buying that stuff, that's just what you see. Like,
yeah, that's just my scope. Because there's definitely rich people who don't care about flashiness and buy the nice stuff. You're right. No, you're right. And I think about even when we went to the open house thing, a lot of stuff I liked was even the stuff with the label. Like that jacket. I like that jacket. It had all the pockets on it.
Yeah, it was like the most expensive item there.
No, of course, I liked it too.
And that's why it was still sitting there, because no normal person.
I was going to buy it.
And you have the people that buy the Off-White stuff or Louis stuff couldn't even afford that.
I was going to buy it.
No, you weren't.
That was.
The jacket was like $7,000.
I was going to buy it. But yeah, no, I get it. I do get it. But I'm just saying, like these brands, they know also too though what's popular. And that's literally why he has some elements of that deconstructive thing in Louis Vuitton. Because they know that's like what sells too. Like they know that's what's gonna bring people's eyes to the.
What did he do as deconstructed Louis Vuitton?
No, not deconstructed. I'm talking about like the quotation, like that whole deconstructed like thing of having the quotes and saying what it is. And I feel like it evolved, but I'm talking about I'm literally talking about specifically that first collection. It definitely has evolved since, because we just watched the show. But I feel like it's evolved. But I feel like his first collection, he definitely still stuck to that whole quotation thing. You know, for some of his stuff. But yeah, I do see what you mean though. I feel like as far as design wise, he is more talented than Kanye, and that's why he got the job. You know. But I feel like even if you're proud of your friend, it's natural to be jealous. You could be proud of somebody and still be jealous, babe. I don't think you realize the difference between jealousy and envy. Envy is malicious. Envy is when these bees be hating and literally wish bad on you and want you to have a miserable life and be like them. Am I projecting? Jealousy is like, oh my God, like I love that for her. I'm a little jealous because, I wish I had that, but I love that for her. Like, I support her. I love her and all that. That's jealousy. We all experience jealousy. It's human nature. You know? But you could be proud and still be jealous. Envy is when it's bad. You look at the difference between envy and jealousy? Huh? What are you looking at? You look at the difference. There's literally a difference between jealousy and envy. Jealousy is only bad if you make it bad, and that's when it becomes envy. Envy is just dangerous. Like it's natural. You can't help but to feel how you feel about something. Especially if you guys have the same goals, you know? You don't think so? You gotta remember, people are listening, so you can't just have these blank moments and not say nothing. Because
I could do whatever I want.
I'm just saying, because it's awkward.
You were just talking.
I was asking, I said, right? Like 3 times. Or twice.
Yeah, every single thing is saying envy.
That's what I just said. Envy is bad.
Yeah, that Kanye is envious.
Oh my God. See, this what you, anytime I'm right, you like to switch up. I just said Kanye, said he literally said out of his own mouth, I was jealous. I said that jealousy is different than envy. Yeah, he was happy for him. He cried, but he was jealous.
Yeah, but this by definition is not by definition is not jealousy. It's envy.
How he doesn't show? How did he show signs of envy? He didn't.
I'm just I'm asking you. I'm going off based off of the mad definitions I just read. Envy means to bear a grudge towards someone due to coveting what that person has or enjoys.
That's not. I mean, that's envy. That's not jealousy.
Yeah, I know that. How is him? How is that that not what he's feeling?
Jealousy occurs when you resent someone for seemingly taking bigger. Okay, that's in private relationships. Envy, on the other hand, is when you're coveting someone else's accomplishments, accolades, blah blah blah. That was more so it had to do with the relationships. Okay, why always about relationships? I feel like I guess people jealousy is mostly about relationships. All these are literally about relationships. Envy is when we lack a desire to enjoyment. I don't know, but there is literally a difference. Like envy, it's like basically it's like you kind of don't want that person to have that. Where like as jealousy is more so like you could be happy for people and still be jealous. Like I feel like I feel like I've definitely experienced that. Like even with our relationship, people could literally could be happy for our relationship, but still like be kind of sad and jealous. Like they said, jealous is more so tapped into like your emotional like state, whereas envy is more so anger. Jealousy is more so like sadness. Like that's literally like what this site is saying. Like jealousy is more so like a sad feeling. Could you kind of like it's like mixed in with fear and sadness, whereas envy is more so angry. Like you're mad that person has that. You're angry that person.
He is angry.
I don't think he's angry.
You don't put somebody in a group chat and talk about how you make more money than them because they got the Louis job and you didn't, and that's considered being jealous and not being envious. That's being envious. That's mad. That is not sadness.
Why? Well, no, he only put Virgil in the group chat after Virgil made that stuff for Drake.
Yeah, so even that,
he felt like he was switching teams.
But even that was weird because Virgil Ben made that watch like months before months before Drake actually even wore it.
Well, maybe Kanye didn't know.
But even that, then like,
I don't know. I just feel like I could respect somebody that's such a jealous. Like I hate when you get weird vibes from people and like, but they'll never put their ego down to say like they were jealous or like I hate when people do that. So I can respect somebody who literally could say that they're jealous because like people will be like, I'm hating on you. What am I mad at? Or like this. Like don't lie. Like we all feel jealous. Anytime I felt jealous about something, I will admit it. Like I will literally say it, but so I can respect that he at least says it. Like Kanye couldn't not have said it. So I'm saying that's all I respect. Like we can get into intricacies. Oh my God, I can't talk. Intricacies. What is that word? Wait, it's not even funny. Intricacies. We get into all the details of the difference between envy and jealousy. But the bottom line is, I can respect at least the fact that he said it. Like, yeah, I was jealous. I'm the Louis Vuitton Don. I was jealous. I could respect that because he could have easily said, "Nah, I wasn't jealous. That's my man. I wasn't jealous. I'm happy for him." But like as you just always excuse, I'm happy for him, but I'm happy for him, but I'm happy for her. But like he said, no, I was jealous. That's it. Period. Point blank. He didn't even go in, any deeper than that. So I could respect that because it's like he didn't have to say that. And a lot of, especially men will never admit that. Like I feel a lot of men be jealous of stuff like their guy friends or it's anything and just don't ever say it. So I could respect that he says it. I mean, girls don't really admit it either, but I feel they're more likely to admit it than a guy. You know. So I could respect it. That's the bottom line. That's the only thing I wanted to bring up with that. I can at least respect that he said he was jealous instead of acting like he wasn't jealous. You know. And that's why I even said like when he was crying and when he was hugging him, those tears felt like a combination of I'm happy for you, but I'm also sad. Like it felt like a combination because you could tell, it was passion. Like he was happy for him, but it also felt like, but yeah, like he was saying this is my dream, and like that was like probably in the back of his mind because that is a sad thing. I just feel like like it is normal to feel that way, but like you said, the whole putting you in the group chat, like you obviously still have underlying feelings, and you probably still are somewhat mad about it. And I do feel like that is kind of weird, And obviously Drake definitely has insider intel. That's what, like he wouldn't have made that lyric without something from the inside that we don't,
No, it's because Kanye said it publicly.
Well, yeah, but I'm so, he also like hear things behind the scenes, like they're in that world. I'm sure he's heard things. Or I'm sure Virgil probably said something. Like I'm sure he has a little more details of some feelings and emotions, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm like you see, I'm a super diehard defend Kanye for everything. Like I've literally said some stuff he does weird, like, but like the bottom line, I could at least respect that he acknowledges his jealousy and that's man enough to say it. Literally, so he knows millions of people out to watch this, and man enough to say that he was jealous. There's definitely some other underlying stuff that gives envious vibes, but I could at least respect that he says it. Cause a lot of people really are so quick to cover that up. Like nobody wants to be a hater. I don't think anybody wants to be a hater. But it's natural, literally natural sometimes. Even if you love somebody, like you sometimes can't help it. Especially if that's something that you were really passionate about and that was like your dream job. Like it has to hurt. Not, you know. I don't know. So I just respect that he said it. That's all. I feel like you can't hate on that, you know? No, you can't hate on admitting. Admitting's the first step. It's literally the first step in like therapy and stuff. Admitting. But yeah. Part 2 should be interesting. I think going back to what you were asking before, I do think he had a lot to get off his chest about Drake, and I just feel like he used that to get off. I think if part 2 he still talks about him, then it'll kind of be all right. But I mean, it was filmed the same day, so it wouldn't be a surprise. So we'll see. I'm really interested if this concert is gonna happen. I at least want them to do a versus, right? You don't want it? You rather a producer versus?
I think versus is stupid.
It is, because it's kind of hard, because like Kanye, but Kanye had a good example. He literally said it himself, right? He's like, he said you have Kendrick who like kind of out raps him, right? You got more bars. You got Drake that sells more. You got Tyler that got better videos. You got J. Cole that kind of did the whole suburban rapper thing kind of better, you know? But then you have Kanye who's like a mix of all that. And then, you know, he dropped on that and became, you know, he's like, pay attention. Like, who's really the head of this? But I like that he acknowledged that too. Like he acknowledges all the people in their strengths, you know. But then he also says like, you know, but I'm a combination of all that, you know. And I'll also add producing in there. And I feel like when we have somebody like that, what kind of verses can you do? There's not many people that you could say, if any, that are the same with that combination, right? Produced and make good raps, you know. It's not really a lot. So I don't know if it will ever happen. But Kanye, cause he said you're gonna need like parts, like it's gonna have to be like days, right? Like day 1, day 2, day 3, cause you just gotta like, it's just too many people that he would have to go against. Like you would have to have a producer day, you had to have a rap day, you would have to have like a, you know. I think with Drake it would just be specific hits. Like it wouldn't necessarily be who had better bars, who had better production. It's just hits. What was a better hit? Which song hits different for you? Which song brings you back to that moment in your life, you know? It would just have to be that for them. But then with something like Pharrell, that could be production, you know? Or Timbaland, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it should be interesting if it actually happens. I feel like Kanye's a little too chaotic for stuff like that, though. He's too unpredictable for stuff like that, right? Especially because, isn't it usually live? Yeah. I think anything that has to do with Kanye being live kind of scares me, right? I don't know about you, but he's just so unpredictable. He's scaring me. How do they even determine a winner of versus?
They don't. They stopped doing that.
No. I guess they let the audience decide. Like in the comments and stuff. But yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to show you. I could show you real quick the end of that Kanye clip. I don't remember this from the first interview, unless it was, but I really don't remember. But part 2 is coming out Thursday. When he started yelling at the end.
We can't meet, we can't have a conversation. Y'all stupid motherfuckers, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you remember that from the first part? I don't think I remember that.
Drink champs on Revolt TV.
Him yelling like that? I don't remember that. So that might be new, right? I mean, I think it was weird that most of the preview was old, like from the first episode. So I'm like, are they just trying to dig up some clips and create a part 2 because they saw the popularity?
Hopefully it's short, because I don't want to watch that again.
Yeah, I don't. Hopefully it's not another 2-hour one. I mean, I don't mind long interviews. It was just that I think it was the fact that we had work and it was late. If it was like Thursday, I mean,
it's mostly because I like watching stuff on my own time. Like I hate.
You don't like watching it live?
I don't like watching nothing live. Like I'm never gonna run to my TV because something's showing on like a specific time. I like watching things when I.
Only reason I did that is because we never have stuff to watch. We literally like end up scrolling on YouTube trying to figure out something to watch. So it was literally just perfect timing that it was something to watch. Like it's not like I was like pressed to watch it live. It's just that we never have it. We literally just would have, if we didn't watch that, we would have just been scrolling, looking for something to watch. So it was like might as well just turn it on because it was just a timing. So. I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what part 2 is going to be because it kind of felt like it was wrapped up in part 1. So I'm like, did they sit there more and drink, or is it stuff that they cut that they're just gonna paste together? I don't know. I just hope it's not like that. Like they just trying to milk the interview. But we'll see. But yeah, is there anything else from the Kanye interview that you thought that was important? Like, I mean, we could talk about the positive stuff. We could kind of talk about it for a minute, but
Nope.
like I said, the
Moving
only
on.
the only like really positive thing I liked is just like the whole Black empowerment, like buying property, buying stocks. Not even really buying stocks because I'm more so of a invested index fund person, right? Like we've talked about this before. I'm not really a big on individual stocks. I feel like it's not really like beneficial to the average everyday investor, right? It doesn't really do much for you. But you're not going to buy enough shares of a stock to make any big gains. So you might as well just throw your money into an index fund and let it grow. But yeah, I think he has some good advice about Black ownership and about how like the whole 808s. I don't know. That's like a whole deeper conversation. Like I don't want to like just have this all be about Kanye. Because we got to get into Travis, but the whole 808s being like the lowest chakra. You know, all the spiritual people were eating that up on Twitter. But I do kind of believe in music having frequency because music does invoke emotion like this. That's why the whole like you see how animals act. Like we was watching that what was that? The squirrel that was watching the guy play the saxophone
Why do you use 808s on his album, man?
on this last album. I don't know, but I think he was just saying like the combination. I think he was just like bringing light to it. Like I think he still likes using it, but I think he was just bringing light to the fact that that's all people listen to. Like, and you can admit I'm one of those people. Like you said so yourself. Sometimes I need to listen to more R&B. I need to listen to more like percussion music because that stuff is kind of draining. Like sometimes I listen to like I remember like I told you I was driving to Howard with my line sisters. And we was on the ride back and they literally made a joke. They're like, "No, do you have any R&B songs?" Because I know that could be like that music sometimes could feel draining. It's like it could just feel heavy. So I get like music does invoke emotion, and 808 sometimes is like a lot. It's like okay, my heart pressure's like my blood pressure's up. Let's slow down. Let's listen to some hi hats and some percussions. So I don't think he's saying don't use 808s. I think he's just saying like how he just feels like that's all our music is, and that there's nothing more. Like, could you come to life and not got no 808s on it? Like most of the album didn't, in my opinion. Like I feel like it was like maybe it was like half and half, or like maybe like his uppity songs like Junior and Off the Grid, but that's like because Jesus the King, like, and then this album had a lot of like that emotional music, and you could feel the emotion. You just feel like light. So I think he was just making a point that that's all people use. Like every single song on the album has 808s. Like every single song is like you feel like you about to rage. Like it's just nothing like. I feel like a lot of our people don't even acknowledge that. And like he said, a lot of our old music, like a lot of the early hip hop days, or like a lot of the music that comes from Africa, is a lot of drums and like uppity. And that music is all like a lot of songs with 808s is all masked in like infidelity and drugs, violence, like overly sexual. And it's kind of nauseating. That's why like I feel like when stuff like Summer Walker drops, is a fresher breath of air. A lot of people like love the music, even though she used a lot of 808s too, because trap R&B, and that's when it's still like, okay, look, we're still getting sucked into that trap vibe. Like, where's the?
I hope somebody kills you in the comments for saying a fresher breath of air.
No, I'm not saying for the music world. I'm saying for like the R&B people, the people who like R&B and like who
you don't
like.
even know what you're arguing against. It's a breath of fresh air, not a fresher breath of air.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
You can continue.
My brain is mushed. But yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like I feel like I like that point that he made. Like, but I believe in frequencies. Music.
Well, all her music had 808s.
No, but I said it's still trap. It was still trap R&B. So maybe that was a bad example. But I just feel like at least it was something different. Like she has storytelling. Like that album was very cohesive, very storytelling. You could tell. Like you could get the emotion of her trying to save a relationship, but just giving up and like realizing like her worth. It was
Why is Lil Baby his favorite rapper?
I think he likes how he raps. I don't think him saying Lil Baby's my favorite rapper says like, oh, I love, like I be vibing to his songs. I think he's talented. Like, Lil Baby's really talented. So him saying that is no surprise because he's really talented.
But Kanye wasn't even so much talking about the 808. He was talking about the lyrical content. So
combined with the 808. That's what he was saying. He was like, you have these. I don't know how you don't believe that, babe. Like that stuff.
So
is
if you rap the same lyrics and take the 808 out, then what?
No, but he's just saying like that level of frequency. Like you're a music head, you should know music literally has different pitches and stuff. And there's some stuff that's such at a frequency that you can't even hear. It's not even. you can't hear it to like the human ear or whatever. Like it's so pitched to a certain frequency that we did those tests all the time where they say old people can't hear music at a certain pitch. You remember those little tests we used to do like on Facebook and Instagram? They used to be like all the different buzzing, and some people couldn't hear the buzzing because they said their brains are just operating different. That frequency stuff is real. Like, I do believe in that. That's like science. Like that's not even that's not even something you could really debate. Because that's literally like a scientific fact that music has different frequency and waves that affects our ears.
So does certain 808s. So if you take somebody,
that's what he said.
Yeah, but if you take somebody rapping about gang violence and then put the 808 a couple of semitones higher and it's not in a low frequency.
See, I feel like sometimes you think of things to the point and not like think deeper about what I'm saying.
No, absolutely not. I don't. I listen to what somebody says and then I interpret it how I want to interpret.
Yeah, but that's not good. Like you should critically think about what people are saying because you can't get across what Kanye's trying to say. And like he's you could tell it's hard for him to get out what he means. From what I interpreted it as and what I like thought about is that he's saying that frequency is like hypnotic. So you have this music, like you have these 808s that are kind of hypnotizing you. Like that's what people are saying even at Travis's concert, like which we're gonna get into. That at one point he almost like hypnotized when he was like looking at the crowd and seeing that people were passed out. He was just standing there. No, I'm saying like the music is so kind of hypnotizing. Like it does kind of like I'm not talking literal sense. I'm just talking about like that song. The music really does kind of get you into this headspace. And I feel like he's saying like when you have those underlying frequencies going on in the music, but then you also have these words, you're kind of like just subconsciously soaking in all that information, you know? I think that's more so what he's saying. Cause like Alex, you could say this, like sometimes it's like, it's funny, but you could literally admit music is addicting. A lot of people are actually addicted to music. Like I see people who literally can't even go outside and without headphones and they have to always listen to music. For me, I never understood that. I know people who always had to listen to music. They had to wake up, listen to music, shower, listen to music. I think it's an addiction because it evokes feeling and it evokes emotion. Like sometimes we have to look at things from a scientific level. Like music is not as simple as just, oh, it's just music. There's definitely more to it. And for you as a music buff, I'm surprised you don't really agree.
No, I feel like that you're not knowledgeable enough to have the conversation because I just gave you.
You be talking rude.
No, that's legitimately like because I just gave you an example. If you're talking about frequency, literal.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, literal hertz frequencies.
Yes.
I could open up FL Studio right now. If you.
I don't want to hear high frequency music.
You don't have to hear high frequency. You don't have to hear high frequency music. I will show you a little example of what I'm saying.
But that's what he's saying too. So that's why I don't get how you're not like.
No, I'm about to explain it to you because frequency is. Never mind. You know the reason why it's not worth it.
I actually just like the tweet. We could replay what he said, so we can actually get the exact.
No. You know why? You know why it's not even worth explaining? Because that's being too nitpicky. Then, because literally, if you take the actual sound and frequency, so if I drag this 808 over here, which is from Blood on the Leaves, and you go into a parametric EQ, which is the equalizer. These are the different frequencies here on the bottom. You can't really see it because it's not zoomed in. But if you play the note down here, which is just
you can't really hear that.
Which is middle C. I know you can't hear it, but it doesn't matter because
I think that's the point, right?
Because you could look at the frequency down here. But if I play the note higher, you see how it switches to up here.
Yeah.
If you're literally looking at music theory, if it's playing at a higher frequency, you could just play, like if you're playing the 808 and it's just played at a higher frequency, it doesn't make a difference whether it's high or low. Like it really doesn't matter. So if you take the same lyrical content, put it on an 808 that's higher, like the Baby's 808s, the reason why we can hear them so projected so well is because they're played high. They're not played low like a lot of 808s are. The 808s that you hear that are hard, like Travis' song Escape Plan that just dropped, it's in a low frequency of 808s. It's in low hertz. If you play the Baby's music, you can hear the 808 on a really trash phone or phone speaker or on a laptop speaker because the 808s are played higher. But if you take that same lyrical content and put it on a low 808 versus a high 808, it's not going to make a difference. If he's talking about shooting people, it doesn't matter. So I think him harping on the 808 specifically is stupid.
But I think they're talking about like this, like I don't feel like reading deep into this, but there's literally like things where they said that music is literally kind of a form of like hypnosis. They actually use music, and when you go to therapy or like mental hospitals, they actually use music as a form of like therapy and hypnosis.
Yeah, which is not wrong.
Yeah, but that's what I think what Kanye's trying to say, that there's like a form of low-key brainwashing that we might not realize is going on because we're listening to this stuff all the time. I think he just combined the fact that there's certain frequencies in 808s that make you feel more angry, it makes you feel more like hype or like.
But that's why I was saying, if you take the same thing you just said about Summer Walker's album, you take the 808 in the same frequency and put R&B.
No, I know.
R&B
That's why I
chords
said it's a
over it,
bad
then-
example. I'm talking about in that specific example. I was talking about the content. I was saying people. It was a fresh. Oh my god, I said it wrong again. It was a breath of fresh air as far as the content. I wasn't talking about the 808s. I said it was still trap R&B, which is like I think our people are addicted to these 808s for some reason. Like why R&B still got 808s in it? Like can we give something else? I'm bored of it too. I'm acknowledging my own like addiction to it. I feel like the 808s because I feel like I want that hype feeling when I'm driving. Like sometimes I listen to calm music and I feel different. I'm like, wow, I feel relaxed. Like I actually feel relaxed. I listen to hyper music and I look at my dashboard. I'm going 100 miles per hour. Like I feel like that stuff is not coincidental, and I think that's what he was just trying to say. And then you add talking about guns, violence, cheating on your wife, and that, and now it's like that's when you associate that addicted 808s with that type of content. You know, and then you do have a Summer Walker that comes in. It's like, all right, cool. You know, at least we have the 808s for something that's a little more lively, but it's still addicting. That's why R&B people are using it because still I feel like it's an addiction. And people are just like are obsessed with 808s, and it's funny. Like I said, it is funny. He has a whole album called 808s and Heartbreak, so it is kind of ironic. But that was what over 10 years ago. That was in 2008. We're about to be in 2022. People could evolve. People could change and have a different mindset on things and learn. So I don't know. I have it's a short clip. It's 25-second clip, so we could bring it up again and just kind of see what he said. And then,
Man, how about we start owning some stuff?
wait, oops, sorry, this is the wrong thing. Sorry, I have like too many clips I like. That's when you're talking about the owning the stock. Where is it? Sorry, I have it in here. My throat is itchy. Where is it? Sorry, I'm slacking. Oh my god, it's in here somewhere. Where is it? Did I not like it? Maybe I didn't like it. But I probably searched it up real quick. Kanye. 808s. Let me type in 808s. Whew, it's hot. Videos. I'm gonna go to videos. And, oh wait, ew. How's that showing? Wait, why can't I find it? Hold up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If I can't find it, we could just move on. Oh wait, okay. Here we go.
808, the algorithm. You're saying the 808 exists in the lowest chakra of your body. The majority of content that's related to the 808 is killer or sexual content. The original 808s was even off pitch. So that meant it's an actual sound in a track that you don't realize is there that is up your entire frequency. And now, today, every time I hear a car coming out, it's 808. But if you think about African music and hip hop movies, breakdance too, it was light. The percussion. It was upbeat. It was a drum. The algorithm.
That's what I think he's more so saying. I feel like he's saying that he's associating this dark music, like this dark 808 is also associated with dark lyrical content, which people are depressed in our country, people are killing each other, and I feel like he's just saying that that's not helping. I don't think that anything's wrong with that. And I think he's saying how the frequency of your body gets messed up. You have this underlying sound that you don't even know what it is that's literally affecting your body. Like I believe in that stuff because our bodies are all operating on this earth, you know, and different sounds that come into our ears affects certain things. That's why literally if you go to doctor's appointments, they do sound stuff in your ears sometimes. Like that stuff does affect your body. And that's what he was saying. He's like, what happened to us being upbeat, Black people being upbeat, uplifting each other to high-pitched music, you know, percussions, like they were saying, like uppity music. Like they used to be in Africa, they don't have like, all these 808s all the time. It's drums and everybody's all in a good mood and like, you know, feeling good. That's why a lot of people are commenting like that's why they like island music. They listen to island music more than they listen to music now, African American music, because they feel like a lot of our music is dark. And I agree. And that's coming from somebody who, you know, you make jokes all the time about how if I don't hear 808, I don't listen to the music. That's literally proving what he's saying. And a lot of people are just like me, sucked into that loving 808s, and then on top of that, if you're not intelligent enough to have a mind of your own, you're getting fed all that violence and sexual content. So that's constantly being flowed into your ears if that's all you're listening to. Like you said, a car pulls out and you hear the 808s because people love that. They love for the speakers to be knocking. No one's listening to R&B while they're driving, and you know, when they're trying to make a scene, people love pulling up someplace blasting music. I don't know why. I guess it makes them look cool, but whenever people do that, you don't hear they're not blasting R&B. They're blasting something with 808s in it, so everybody can look at their car. And I think that's what he's trying to prove. Like people, that's the music people party to. People don't go to parties and listen. There's no R&B playing in the club. It's all that 808s that's constantly being fueled. And some people go out clubbing all the time, and that's just all they're hearing. And I just feel like that's so like, it just can't be good for your aura and your frequency. Like he's saying, like I believe all that stuff does exist. Like, cause that's deep. That's just kind of like science, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I'm like overthinking what he's saying, but I just feel like I get what he's saying. Like I feel we need to get back to having more. Like I can't wait till the 808 trend is gone. Like I hope it dies soon, because I just feel like it's like everywhere, you know. Do you blame Kanye for bringing 808s to hip hop? He kind of did bring. I mean, he didn't, but he like, you know, he just had a whole album for 808s, kind of, sort of. But I don't know. You listen to the clip. Does it make sense what he's trying to say?
I remember the clip. I know what he said, and I still stand on my point.
So you don't think that 808s is usually a lot of music that's 808 based is associated with the same content?
Do you think Redbone is?
I said majority. I'm not talking about outliers like Summer Walker and Redbone. That this new trap R&B, which is new. You said so the other day that this is new, and that you don't like it. So that those are outliers. And they're only joining the ranks because it's popular. 808s are popular, so of course they're gonna make infuse 808s into R&B and make a new genre called trap R&B. Trap R&B is new. It's not even R&B because that's not rhythm and blues. I don't even know why it's called R&B. It should just be trap singing songs. But that's a new category, trap R&B. This is new. The 808s and R&B is new, right? Now you listen to a lot of old R&B. Why I can't say it? So I would think you would agree. That's like a new genre, and they're only doing it because it's popular. No?
I still stand on my point.
I mean, I can respect your opinion, but this is opinion coming from one of the greatest music people of all time, so it's kind of hard to disagree with somebody who's literally in the industry and like, you know, probably talks to other people.
It's also coming from somebody that doesn't know music theory and admitted that as well. Music theory is a real thing. This is the same thing I was telling you that me and my brother were discussing yesterday.
I know, but I literally just saw articles about music theory based and music hypnosis, and they're saying that is a real thing, that people become brainwashed by music and become addicted to music.
And that's a fact, but that's not specific to 808. You could have people that...
I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying how the music is associated with the lyrics. And that's what he's saying. Because I think how he was saying, like, okay, what about the part where he said there's an 808?
It's a circular argument, because what's the problem then? The lyrics are the 808.
The combination, that's what he's saying. He said that's what he literally said. He said,
but
then you combine it with the lyrical content.
It's just a circular argument, because, and that's why we should probably get off of it, because it argues itself in circles. Because like I just gave the example, if you play an 808 at a higher frequency with still negative music, negative lyrical content, does that make you feel any different?
No, I think him talking about the frequency was just adding the fact that there is that's what he said, and he's like, and also there is an 808 that you can't even hear. I think he just talking about 808s in general. I think like that he just used that one specific example, saying that there's also 808 that's such a frequency that you can't even hear, that is kind of messing up your body's frequency.
But the reason why I don't like that argument either is because you could take a bass that plays the same frequency as an 808. And it's a shame I can't connect my laptop and anybody would be able to hear exact. Actually, I could. I think actually if I went in the FL Studio and played something right now, I could show you. Because my issue, and I really don't want to continue to do this, and I'm not going to discuss about music theory with people that don't care about music theory. If I take an open bass, a guitar bass that plays the same frequency of an 808, that's the same pitch, same everything, it's not going to make you feel any different. Like that's my thing. Like I understand.
But how do you know? Like, because I feel that's deeper than music theory. That's science. That's doctor level stuff. You don't know that. You have to literally sit in a test in a room and see how music affects your body, and they could literally check your vitals.
That's a part of music theory, though.
It is, but there's still a level of like none of us in this room have. We haven't went to the level of school that doctors go to. We don't know what type of stuff that actually goes involved for them to see how music affects our brain and our blood pressure, our heart rate. Because I could
No, I
definitely,
never said it didn't do that, but my point is specific to frequency and hertz and pitch.
But when he said frequency, he used frequency. He said the body's frequency. He's not talking about the frequency of the music. He said
That's all I
the
was
body's
saying.
frequency. So I think maybe there's a miscommunication with what he's talking about. He said that the 808s affects your body's frequency.
And I also think that he should just stop using 808s then.
But that's not what he's saying. He never said he hates 808s. He said that when you listen to certain music, that's kind of messing up your frequency, and then you're kind of in this hypnosis, and then on top of that, now you're being fed this stuff. Like I believe in hypnosis because I actually got hypnotized twice before, and I believe it. I literally let myself relax, and I got in a state like I wasn't acting. You think I wanted to twerk in front of my high school senior class? I'm very shy. I didn't want to do that. Like I mean, I wasn't twerking, but they had us dancing and stuff. So like. I believe in that stuff because I actually got hypnotized before. Like, hypnotized, I feel like people have this thing that they hypnotize the little spiral circle, and there's all this little, it's all the circus stuff and this theatrical stuff that you see on TVs and movies. That's not what hypnosis is at all. Like, it's literally, we're just calm and the guy's talking and saying certain stuff, and like it just triggers certain stuff in your body. And I think there's just a whole different level of stuff that we don't really understand about how our bodies work and stuff. And I would really love to do more research, so I'm not just speaking on these things. But like I think that's what he was saying, that you are in this kind of state of hypnosis when you're listening to this music that you don't realize that you're in, because it's not like you're actively thinking I'm hypnotized. Like you're not actively thinking that, because it's not like I said, hypnosis is not theater. It's not all this stuff they make it look like in the old 1940 movies. It's not any of that. So you don't probably even realize you're in a state of hypnosis because it's not obvious. It's really not. So I think that's what he's saying, that the music, sometimes the 808s, gets you into that trance. And I think all music gets you into a trance, but I'm thinking he's saying 808s in particular could get you in a certain mood, an aggressive mood. And then on top of that, in your ear, you're hearing shoot niggas, go down blocks, F63rd. Like, it's just like a lot going on. It's like, whoa. And it's like, I think that's what he's just saying, the combination too. I mean, we could disagree or agree to disagree and do further research and revisit the topic, but I do think there's some truths in both what we're both saying. And I think, but we also kind of have a miscommunication as far as frequency. So you're talking about music frequency. He's talking about the body's frequency and the 808's effect on the body's frequency. Because he's saying that the body we have our own level of frequency as well. We literally have a voice box in our head, like how we talk. We literally have, like, we could create music from our mouth. People sing. So we have frequencies in your body. And I think he's saying how that's affected from certain music that you don't realize, because it's like subconscious hypnosis. I think the only way you can really tell the effect on music is you have to have your vitals being checked while listening. And like I said, for me, the clear check is when I'm listening to aggressive music, I'm going 100 miles per hour by accident. I don't even realize. I'm like, why am I going so fast? I'm listening to calm music and all of a sudden I'm in the middle lane driving 70, 60. I'm like, why? Like I don't even realize these things, because certain music brings out certain emotions that you don't even realize. It makes you feel more aggressive, more hype. Like, and I just think that's what he's trying to say. And it's only a bad thing if you let it be a bad thing. We know there's a lot of weak-minded people. That's why we get to the next topic about Travis. Like, we know there's a lot of stupid people who are so hypnotized by Travis that they're crushing people, because some people just don't think. They're just so blinded by stuff and by music and stuff that they don't even realize what they're doing. I think a lot of people aren't intelligent. A lot of people aren't conscious or aware of themselves and others. So I think he's just, it's more so, what he's saying is more so detrimental to people who are just sheep behavior, people who just like are gullible, people who just don't have no control of themselves, no sense of awareness. I think that's more so what he's saying, because I'm not about to go shoot at people because that's what the music tells me to, but I could see that someone else who's weak-minded and gets sucked into that how that stuff is just constantly being fed into your head. At one point you start doing it and believing it, And I think that's what he's saying. He's saying how our music used to be more uplifting, our music used to be more uppity, and now it's very demeaning. Everything's demeaning, and it's only our community that really has stuff like that. Like, other communities in music, they talk about some crazy stuff in their music too, but ours is so consistently the same topics, and it's consistently these like this. And I know music is, you talk about your experience, and that's a lot of our people's experiences because of what happened with segregation and being pushed into these communities. But it's like, at what point we're gonna just keep making excuses? Like, we have to start doing different if we want to build our community back up. Because it's like, what are we gonna do? Just keep crying about it? Keep waiting for handouts? Like, we have to just move forward and just fix our community. And I think some of the music, people are speaking about their experiences. You can't hate on that. Like, that's people's experiences. But it's like, it's just a lot. And I feel like we're not even aware of what we're doing. So that's all. I know I was talking a lot. I'm sorry. My throat's itchy too from talking. But yeah, we talked about that for like an hour. So we can move on to the next subject because that's what we talked about. The main stuff from his interview that I feel like I can remember. But yeah, we can wrap it up with Travis. You can start. Come out through itchy. No, go ahead. You can start off giving the background. Everybody should know. This was like major news. Like even my parents knew. My parents were asking me about it. They're like, "Didn't you go to a Travis Scott concert?" I'm like, "Yeah, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago."
Go ahead, give it to him.
Oh, you could do the intro. My throat itchy. Look at that. See, this is I think you actually brought this up before. You said that it would be funny when we were getting a podcast and actually argue. For people who don't know us, this is how we argue. We don't really get crazy. We just
I didn't
debate.
think that was an argument.
Well, it wasn't an argument. It was a debate. It was a debate. We kind of had it was a little debate. We wasn't on the same page. That's all. I think that's good for people to see because we agree sometimes, but that was actually a time we didn't agree on something. So if anybody wanted to know how our debates, arguments look, even when we do argue, that's usually how it looks. We don't really yell at each other. But yeah, a little extra. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Travis now. You know, a lot of people already know what happened. But on Friday, that was the 9th. Whoa, not even the 9th yet. That's today's the 8th. What was this Friday's date? The 5th? Am I dumb? Friday's date was the 5th. Yeah, on Friday, Travis had a 2-day festival. It was supposed to be Friday and Saturday, the 5th and the 6th. Oh my God, my brain. For Astro World Fest. And he had like a whole bunch of people perform on Friday. And then he performed last. You know, this is his festival. And as a lot of you guys know, 8 people died at the festival because basically when he came out initially, that's when everybody started rushing the stage. And then when Drake came out, it got even worse. So I think honestly when Drake came out, I think the people who passed were already like on the ground. And I think they were saying when Drake came out, that's when it got worse. Like, you know, more of the crushing happened, more of them getting stepped on, basically. But I'm not sure the timeline of events because like every video I've seen on TikTok has been flooded. Like my For You page literally was back to back, like different angles of people that were in the crowd. I'm like, how many angles am I going to see? And I keep hearing like 4 different songs when people were like struggling. Like I heard Mamacita, Sicko Mode, obviously, Stargazing, and there was another song. Like it was like 4 songs I kept hearing where most of the videos were coming from. So it was like 4 specific songs. So it must have been around the same time that a lot of this was happening. But they said when the countdown first was happening, that's when like, things started literally when the countdown was happening with the wings, like with the flames and stuff. So yeah, 8 people died and a lot of people, you know, are injured and like bruising. Like Maya, like my sister Maya, she showed me a picture earlier today when I was at my parents' house of somebody who had a huge bruise like on their leg. Like a lot of people are you know, home now or still in the hospital being treated, but it was just bad. People were rushing the stage and suffocating each other basically, and people were falling. They were so tightly compacted they were falling, and the second they were falling, everybody else around them just fell into that hole, and then they were getting stepped on. And it's not even like people were purposely stepping on them. It's like they were just had no place else to move, you know. This is so crazy. But yeah, so basically now the biggest controversy out of all this is that there's a lot of video footage of people seemingly not helping, like Travis not helping, just, you know, it's not stopping the show. People blaming Kylie because they say Kylie posted videos of the ambulance like it was nothing going on. People are blaming the cameraman, which I actually found out more information about that we could get into, but the people blame the cameraman because people that were in that pile were trying to get help and the cameraman wasn't helping. People blame security because they said security wasn't really helping. People blaming Live Nation because they were like the coordinators of this and like their promoters, like they should have had this together. People blaming the police because, you know, they didn't have everything coordinated, and then there was no medical staff, and then Apple Music is you know, getting blamed. So everybody's this is about to be a crazy lawsuit. There's already 2 active lawsuits as of now. I'm sure they're coming. I think the lawsuit is actually by not even a deceased person or their family. It's just a constant person that was there, like that was in that crowd. And I wonder if everybody's gonna sue, right? There might be people who try to sue who weren't even near any of this pandemonium for emotional distress. I don't think they might try to like get some, you know, there's gonna be some people trying to make a profit out of this, right? Probably. But this is about to be a big bag in my opinion. I think that they're gonna really make an example out of Travis, and it's just unfortunate. And I kind of like it's just sad all around. I feel bad for everybody. I'm just like I just be feeling bad for everybody. So I feel it's like a sad thing all around. But a lot of people are actually like putting the blame on Travis, but a lot of other people are saying that the biggest blame should be to Live Nation, whoever put everything together. Because they're saying whoever put everything together should have had all the proper stuff. You know, you're supposed to have the proper medical staff, have the proper space, make sure like that people breaking out of that stuff didn't happen. Have enough police officers, right? Hire enough police officers to make sure, like armed too. I would have them armed and shoot in the air, like, you know, not a real gun. Don't they have like things that they shoot when they want to control a crowd? Oh, is that just in movies? But I don't know. Like, if you had enough armed police officers like that scared people, they wouldn't have ran through the gates like that. You know, you could have them just lined up in the fence. It shouldn't like. They're definitely gonna know now. Like I'm sure everything going forward is gonna be extra. You know, like sometimes it takes something sad to happen for change. And when these things happened in the past, it was like the 90s, 80s, 70s, right? But this is new age. The social media, like you're really getting that perspective because cameras, phones. So I think after this, there's definitely gonna be a lot of change, and that this stuff hopefully doesn't happen again. But yeah, just a sad situation, and we just want to speak on it because we actually been to a Travis show ourselves, so we kind of have like experience of what his shows get like and what it's like to be in a mosh pit. And the show we went to actually was an infamous show of Travis because somebody got paralyzed. I don't know if you guys know, but there was April 30th, 2017 was actually his birthday. We were juniors in college, and we were like, what, 20? My first time being in a mosh pit, your first time too, right? You never been to nothing like that, right? A mosh pit tip. So, you know, we love Travis, so that was like, we were really excited. Like Alex got his tickets. He literally like, I don't know how, it still says they don't know how he got those tickets because the site said like when you get like kicked off the site, it was like frozen or something weird. But, you know, we was really gassed when he got those tickets. Like, you got those tickets mad early too. It was like, it had to be like February when we got those tickets, March. I forgot. It was like early. It was like definitely like winter time, I think. So, you know, we were really excited about that. When we got in there, everything was pretty cool. You know, like they had Virgil out playing, you know, speaking of Virgil, we just talked about him. Virgil was playing his set. And then when Travis came out, it was like the same thing, right? Travis came out, that's when everybody started wilding out. People was pushing from the back. I panicked, you know, I'm a very hypochondriac, panicky, like panic attack type of person. Like I've had panic attacks in the past. So I literally felt like that was about to happen to me, but I couldn't breathe for like, you know, it wasn't that long, luckily, maybe about like a minute. I was kind of just like frustrated more so and just kind of panicky, like you people are bugging out. Like, you know, cause it was pretty close. Like something I don't realize it, can we look at the videos? But even in the videos, you could tell it was packed. And now that this happened, a lot of people who were at the show actually have their perspective. They said the balconies were worse than what we were. And that's why that guy claims that he was pushed off and he didn't actually jump. Who knows? But it was tightly packed, and I never felt that type of discomfort and like, just, I did not like that, honestly. You know, at one point it was fine, but you know, it's still kind of like the whole thing that people in the crowd were talking about, that's like a wave thing where everybody moves in one direction, everyone moves another, you know, that kind of happened with us. And it's just very like irritating. I could see how easily people will start like shoving and elbowing. But that was our experience with that. Like, it was just kind of like, like we had a lot of fun, but that was like for that split moment, I was kind of panicked and like worried, and I was like, "This is why am I here? This is not fun. I'd rather be seated." But yeah, that was like an infamous show. If you guys know the song "Stargazing," he literally references that show, like how he said it's not a mosh pit if there's no injuries, and how he has people stage diving out the nosebleeds. Which I feel like that's kind of an insult to injury, right? Like, how you gonna make a lyric after somebody got paralyzed? Like, now that I'm kind of thinking about some of his behavior, right? It's pretty questionable. How you gonna make, like, is that kind of joke, like making a joke of it, you think?
No.
You don't think that's like adding insult to injury?
No.
Like, I got them stage diving at the nosebleeds?
No.
But that's what he was talking about.
No, I think he was talking about the other person. I don't think he was talking about the guy that fell.
Yeah, but if you know somebody got paralyzed, I just wonder how I made that lyric at all. I mean, it's a fire bar. You know, now that we know that people are dying from it, so maybe you look at it differently. It is a fire bar. Like, got them stage diving at the nosebleeds, because that's like... But knowing that happened at his show, I just feel like it was kind of adding insult to injury. Like, But if you look at the actual bar, like the Genius thing, they say that he's probably specifically talking about the third floor, because the second balcony is not the nosebleeds. Like I think he's talking about they got people jumping from mad high, like all the way in the nosebleeds. Like the second balcony is not in the nosebleeds. I really think he was talking about that. Just in general, everybody that was jumping from the balconies, but definitely the people coming all the way from the top. Like, so I don't know. People say that Travis gives them "I was bullied in high school" vibes, and now he's famous because like even that whole him making fun, like yelling at that guy, that cameraman at Summer Jam, whatever. Like that was mean. Like he just does a lot of crushing stuff. Like telling people to beat somebody up in the crowd because they took your sneakers. Like you're rich, you could buy another sneaker. Like I don't know. Looking back now, I'm like he did do a lot of questionable stuff. But yeah, that show in particular, knowing that was our first Travis show, and we were literally a part of an infamous show that's literally like in his song lyrics and like a story that's still talked about. Like I seen mad articles coming out now because now the guy speaking out. I don't know if you saw the guy literally spoke out about it, about the Astroworld thing, the guy who got paralyzed. There was a whole article like a man paralyzed at the 2017 show speaks out about Astroworld Fest. So literally like this is becoming a known thing. Viral tweets about this, 130,000 likes. And I'm like, wow, we were at that show. Like it's just weird because like who would have thought something like we would have been a part of that crazy experience. But yeah, based off our experience, I see how easy it is for a human crush to happen. And that was a small venue. So I can only imagine 50,000 plus people, right? Probably crazy. But yeah, sad. Yeah, the stories are starting to come out about like the people that like anytime like some stuff comes out, that's when I kind of get more like weirded out by it because you hear 8 people died, but you don't know who these people are, right? Now you're starting hearing stories. Some guy died protecting his fiance. It's like, dang, like that's sad. Like you with your like fiance, like having a good time. Like I just think about like us, cause we're a couple, so it's just like that stuff's sad. And now the fiance is gonna be traumatized for life and be like, that's just something in her head. She's like, why did we go to this concert? Like I just know that's gonna be like in her head, like it's just so senseless. I don't know. This makes me mad because people are just so selfish. Because at the end of the day, a lot of stuff should have been taken in place. But at the end of the day, humans killed humans. Well, over Travis, it wasn't like you could blame everybody else, and and it is you can't blame them. But at the end of the day, this could have been avoided, even with all those people there. Even with what stuff that was taking place, with everything that was set up. The reason why this happened is because people will rush the stage to try to be in there, in Travis's face like weirdos, right? That's the only reason it happened. SZA performed right before him, I think, and it was fine. It was like the same kind of crowd of people. It was still a lot of people, but it was calm. Everybody was just chilling. Why now when Travis is out, everybody's pushing from the back to rush the stage, right? It's just like weird. Like this whole idolization of celebrities is like literally killing people. And like it's just they said it was like animalistic in that crowd. Like people were literally fighting for their lives. So they were choking each other out, hitting like that's why the fiance was getting hit by men, like getting punched. And her fiance, the guy that died, literally was defending her and then he got sucked into the pit. And I think he got trampled. Yeah, that's what his brother was there and said that he literally saw him getting trampled and stepped on. So it's just a sad situation. I feel like you feel like they're definitely gonna try to make an example out of Travis, right? Did you feel like they're kind of like even with the guy who got paralyzed at the show, like isn't it kind of max? Like someone must have reached out to him, or maybe he randomly spoke. But isn't that kind of max now that you kind of like trying to dig a hole for him, for Travis? Like you're kind of bringing up all his demons.
You've been trying to get clout off of it.
Off what his shows?
Off his paralysis.
Oh.
That's been a thing.
Oh yeah, that guy, yeah.
Sue Travis lost.
Yeah, and now here he is again. But this time it's kind of working. But at the same time, it's actually not. I saw a lot of comments like, okay, like why is he speaking? Like you jumped. And there's video of him like jumping. Like he says he got pushed, but there's literally video of him jumping. So I don't know. It's just a shame, like, you're trying to use this now as clout. Like, I know you're hurt and you're upset and you're mad that happened, but, like, accept your decision to jump. Because how come you're the only person who fell? No one else fell from up there. On both sides. There was 2 sides of them, too, right? Like, it was 2 sides. There was balconies up here and up here. No one else fell. But you fell. You got pushed. Okay. Like, just take your L, you made a stupid decision. And it sucks that that decision affects you for the rest of your life, And that's a hard thing to have to accept. But it's like now you're just kind of like digging a hole. And I'm not here defending defending Travis. You know, I say he gets the heat that he kind of deserves because he does encourage it. Like even on our show, he said he wants to see blood, he wants to see people flying, he wants to see bodies flying. Like he does kind of encourage craziness. He said he said if you know let the ragers in. If you didn't get a ticket, who cares? Like he encouraging people sneaking in. You know, like so he kind of is getting what he deserves. But they're definitely, I feel like, you know, they're definitely gonna make an example out of him for sure because now you know technology has it where you can see more of this stuff. And it becomes more real. Like when this happened with The Who, I don't know if they got canceled. The Who, I don't know if being canceled was even a thing back then. They're still very popular, you know. They still have success. But I feel like Travis, you know, just being in this new age of technology where you can literally see on your phone what was happening, they're gonna make an example out of him, and it just sucks because, you know how they say the higher you climb, the harder you fall. That's the type of thing. Like Travis has been so successful, hasn't been in any controversies really. And this is gonna like kill him for a minute, you know. He's already backing out of, which he should. The Day in Vegas festival he was headlining backed out. He said he's paying for all the funerals. He gave everybody refunds. You saw that? He's giving everybody for the show refunds. And something else, that's what he said. Oh yeah, backing out the show, The Day in Vegas. So I feel like he's about to just pay, you know, and he's definitely gonna be off the grid, I feel like, for a minute. So it's just sad all around for all, you know, all parties involved, but who do you put most of the blame on? Cause I feel like everybody's blaming Travis, but who do you put blame on?
The crowd.
The crowd, right? Nobody's talking about the crowd. I feel like nobody's acknowledging the fact that this wouldn't have happened if people had concert etiquette. Like there's a thing called concert etiquette. Don't elbow people. Like they said, I think they said literally the saying is just use shoulders, you know? Don't elbow people. Like, and that's what people are doing. Don't push. Like, why are you rushing the stage? You could see him where you're at in the back. What do you think being in the back, you think you're gonna be able to get to the front? All the way from the back? Like, people are just crazy. And I feel like there needs to be emphasis on the people that were in that crowd, the people that caused the crush, the people that were stepping on the people below them, that didn't even care, still singing the lyrics just to get to the stage, stepping over people, thinking that they're gonna be okay. Oh, they're okay. They're probably just unconscious. You're literally stepping on them. You're putting your whole human weight on somebody's head, back, stomach. Like, those people need to be prosecuted. They're the ones that actually did murder the person, like, or the people. And I expect there's so much emphasis on Travis and everybody else. And like, I understand, like, they could have helped and they could have stopped and got medical attention to those people. Like, yes, I agree. But where's the beef for the people who actually caused this, you know? I know you can't really pinpoint it, you know? Okay, everybody starts rushing to the others. You can't necessarily pinpoint, but this new generation, something's wrong. Something is really wrong with Gen Z because there's just no reason that this should have happened, you know? It's just sad. Like, just chill. You could see Travis from where you're at. Enjoy the show, right? Like, don't you want to be comfortable? Why do you want to be smushed up underneath him, right? Don't you just want to be comfortable chilling, like, in the back, just chilling? You don't have to be underneath him. Let the people who sat there all day, you know? Let them they sat there all day. They deserve to be up there, right? Like, what are you in the back who got here, like, at a later set, thinking that you have the right to just push your way up to the front, you know? It's just crazy. And some girl on TikTok literally said, like, I could show you after, but some girl on TikTok literally said that she heard people in the crowd conspiring to literally take people out. They said they're going to take people out to get to the front. This was before the crush was even happening. She said she heard people conspiring to take people out. That's crazy, right? People coming to the concert with needles, planning to inject people. Like, it's just something wrong with people. I just know I'm not going to no concert anytime soon, especially no festival or any type of, like, but just sad all around. And I can't imagine, like, families, how they feel, like, especially knowing that their family members taken out in such, like, a gruesome way, right? Because that couldn't have been like a painless way to go out, right? Probably pretty painful. I know some people probably passed out, right? And then got crushed to death, so they might not necessarily felt it because they were unconscious. I would hope they didn't. I don't know. But the more and more that stories are coming out, it's just getting crazy. And like I was saying too earlier with the cameraman, apparently his wife came out and was saying that there's more to the story. Like, everybody's kind of like killing him. You know, he's saying that he's getting death threats and stuff. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that? The girl and the guy trying to stop him? The wife said that he had noise canceling headphones because you had to hear the camera cues. Like you're literally on like a live stream camera. So I believe that, right? That it's probably very noise canceling headphones, so you just could hear the camera feeds about what to do and what angles, right? So he said that he couldn't even hear and couldn't really understand what was going on at first. And he kind of just panicked. He said that they said that like literally a few minutes before that there was other kids up there trying to just get on the stage. So he probably thought it was more kids just trying to get up. He probably doesn't understand what's going on. And there was a lot going on. It's kind of scary. You don't know what these kids are up here about to do. And they said once he figured out what was going on, he actually called these two medic people. Like there's like a thing on his back, like that he was able to speak to people through, and got two security guards, or two medics that actually were able. That actually was the ones that started carrying the people out of the crowd. So I don't know. There's always more to a story. I figure you always had to hear two sides, and it's kind of crazy that everybody's been dragging this man, right? Like I said, I just feel like everybody wants to point the blame to everybody else except the actual people that literally caused it, which is the people in that crowd, is young Gen Z crazy kids. Like I don't know if you saw that picture where there's like the group of people, like all those groups of friends that look nerdy, and they had like the V-Lone with the Louis Vuitton crossbody bag. You definitely seen those pictures like that. They said that's literally the type of people that's in that crowd, doing the pushing. Like you watch the video of the people stampeding, it's all these little nerdy looking kids, right? Like just doing the most and not caring about anybody else. Like even in that video alone, people were being trampled. Like you guys are really doing this for Travis. Like it's sick, and it's like something that needs to be addressed. And like, we need to like hold them accountable too. Like we need to literally like, I feel like so much of the attention and the blame is being everywhere else. And like, yes, that they do need to be held accountable, and they do need to blame too. But I feel like I haven't seen any conversation about the actual people that literally caused this, which are the people in that crowd. So it's going to be interesting to see what these next few weeks, months, years are with this situation. I know this week is primarily like identifying the people. All the stories are coming out about who they were, their ages, and all that stuff. So that's like the really sad part. And I'm sure the funerals are coming this week and next week. So, yeah, you have anything? Yeah, I feel like you haven't said that on this topic.
No.
You have anything to say for that topic?
No, I think you summed it up really well.
No, but you don't have like an opinion on who the situation. Well, I think my opinion is that it was preventable. Yeah, but I wouldn't invest in. I can't really break down how it could have been preventable, but
I feel bad because I really didn't want to stay on that Kanye topic so long, but now I'm like mentally drained. I can't even give what I was. I mean,
we could just talk about that much longer. It's not really much more to. I mean, there's really not much to say about this topic.
After I'm done, we gotta end it though.
Yeah, no.
Don't interrupt me.
Okay, I'm gonna sit back. I just talk forever.
All right.
Need a drink? Hot?
Dead tired. I'm gonna get up at 5 in the morning.
Oh, God, yes, 12. I probably I'll just post this on Wednesday.
No, it's all right. So, at the risk of getting canceled, which I probably will for everything that I say, but first and foremost, I think that like it's a weird thing. I feel like you should be able to see people that you like their music. You should be able to see them in person performing their music. But I think that festivals in particular, but also concerts to some degree, they're all kind of stupid. Like it's not even an enjoyable experience in my opinion. Like I can't see how you can have thousands of people, because it's not even like that with anything. You put thousands of people anywhere on the face of the earth, it's going to be terrible. Like you can't even put 2,000 kids in a school without people wanting to fight each other. You can't put 50,000 people in a football stadium without drunk people throwing beer and fighting. You can't do any sort of event anywhere without somebody doing something crazy or people not getting along or somebody just wants to fight. Like you can't put a group of people anywhere on the face of the earth and it ends up being something positive. Like it's just never going to happen. Now, with that said, of course, you should always be able to go see people that you enjoy and be able to enjoy the experience being there. But unfortunately, just the way us, and I don't want to include myself, but just the way humans are, we can't enjoy anything. We can't coexist. We can't do any of that stuff. So I feel like with these sorts of festivals and all this other stuff, and people are like, oh my God, it's so lit. I'm like, it's really not lit. You just see you see videos with flashing lights and people jumping up and down. It's not fun. It's not fun being around packed in with 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people in one area. If you're in the front, how you even go to the bathroom? You can't. Like it's not a good experience. So I feel like this whole like desire for people to go to places like Rolling Loud and Coachella and all these other different things, like that needs to stop. Like even Woodstock back in the day, like all that stuff needs to stop because it's not an enjoyable experience. Like even back then, this stuff was happening, not people getting trampled necessarily, but people dying, drug overdoses, all kinds of crazy stuff. This is, I'm not going to say this is nothing new, but that whole culture of let's go pack tens of thousands of people in one area with a bunch of drugs and different personalities and let's see what happens. We got to get away with that, get away from that. So that's first and foremost. We got to stop because it's stupid. Like, especially even if you're in the back, like you might as well just put your AirPods in and listen to the song. So that's first and foremost. Second, it's 100% the crowd's fault because regardless of whatever security, police, barricades, any kind of that sort of thing, at the end of the day, Travis did not go in the crowd and shoot anybody. It was all done from people wilding out because I think you can have people standing still. I think you can do it, but people don't do it.
They just push forward.
So he didn't go in the crowd and do anything specific to anybody. It's all the kids that it's on their hands, to be honest, because if you were pushing, if you were doing all that kind of stuff, then that's on you. And I think that they deserve 100% of the blame because you could always talk about kind of like with the Gabby Petito case where a bunch of people were blaming the police officers and XYZ, but the police officers didn't kill her. It was whatever his name was, Brian. He's the one that killed him and killed her.
Misdirected anger. Like, everybody just wants to find somebody to blame
without actually blaming the thing that was that caused it. So, it's definitely the crowd's fault. I think that Travis does 100,000% incite these sorts of things. Yeah, and
he got arrested for it, right?
I said, let me cook.
Sorry. I just wanted to add that.
And he definitely 1,000% incites these things. He likes the idea of being that rock star, like how it used to be back in the day, girls screaming and people raging, quote unquote raging. I don't know how you rage to hip hop music, but and being youthful and being a part of the kids, like that's the literal derivative from rock music. Like they always talk about youth. And they always had people going crazy at the concerts, a bunch of packed out people, mosh pits, all that stuff does not derive from hip hop. And I understand that he wants to feel like the leader of the youth and give kids something to look up to, most likely because there's somebody in his life that he felt that same way about and wants to replicate that same sort of thing. So his intention, I don't think, is poor. I think that I understand what he's trying to do. I don't think that he really legitimately wants people to, even though he says that people, he wants to see blood and all this other stuff, still even within that, because I understand what he means, like that's still part of that whole mosh pit thing. I don't think that he purposefully wants people to get severely hurt or die. Like when he was telling people, we were at the Terminal 5 show and he was telling people he wants us to see, God, I'm so tired I can't even speak, wants to see bodies flying around and stuff like that. I think he meant that, but not in the sense
like
that, yeah, like not like I want to see people dying.
Yeah.
Like I think that's being kind of misconstrued, like that when he's saying I want to see you guys rage and turn up and mosh pit, like open it up, like all that stuff.
I think that's literally the culture. Like rock people literally do that all the time. You look at any old videos, that's all they say, the same stuff, you know. So this is nothing new. It's just people aren't privy to it because they don't pay attention until a tragic thing happens. Now they're gonna like analyze every event.
It's also a different generation because there weren't any rappers kind of before this that were inciting this sort of energy. Like you go to a lot of, even if you see the videos online, you see a lot of people other rappers that are performing, you don't see the crowd reacting a certain way because that's just not the energy that energy that is being given off. Like if you look at any of the rappers, really that you can't think of anybody before
Like Biggie, Tupac,
Travis. Like nobody was jumping around doing all that kind of stuff.
Jay-Z. Yeah.
So I don't think he meant any harm, but for me, it was only a matter of time. Especially after experiencing the Terminal 5 show. And it's sad to say, it was only a matter of time before somebody did get seriously injured. So they were paralyzed. It was only a matter of time before I felt like somebody was going to die, because it was definitely crazy in there. It definitely didn't look as crazy as, 50,000 people, however many people were out there.
But at one point it was like kind of like, this is a lot.
I said, let me cook.
I just had trauma PTSD. It's a lot.
So yeah, it was only a matter of time. So I guess if you want to be like everybody else that wants to also add additional blame, then yes, you can additionally blame him. You could blame Live Nation. You can blame the police department. You can blame everybody that put together the event to try to prevent kids from being stupid. But again, at the end of the day, it was the kids being stupid and not law enforcement and everybody else. And I'm sure I'll get killed for saying that, but it's just the fact, like, it's just what it is. It's literally true. Like I said, it wasn't Travis. He wasn't rushing the crowd by himself, and that's what happened. It was a bunch of people. I think that people are also killing him. I'm making sure I'm addressing everything. People are also killing him. And I hate to use that phrase. I'm going to try to use something else. But people also attacking him, canceling him, whatever you want to use, because he didn't stop the show. Now, for one, to some degree, I almost want to give the benefit of the doubt, because when you are on stage and you're just seeing 50,000 bouncing heads around, you can't pinpoint, like nobody knows what that's like. You can't pinpoint who's doing what or who's saying whatever. Like I've performed music like in school in front of crowds of people that were maybe 100 or 200 people. And even in that, you can't really identify what specific person is doing anything at a particular time. I can't imagine tens of thousands of people bouncing up and down. How is he going to see the person on the ground when he's on the stage? Now, the one thing that I will say, because even when the ambulance was coming through, he was like, what is that? Like, I'm sure that he didn't even know what it was. But the one thing where we have to give some sort of doubt is because artists typically, because it's so loud on stage, you're not hearing anything. You typically have an earpiece, and if certain people knew what was going on, then they would communicate back to him, most likely. But at the same time, the medical professionals and security is on staff for a reason. So even though some things might be going on, it still is at the end of the day, it is up to them to handle the situation.
Sorry to interrupt, but did you hear that a rep from Apple Music was on the stage with that girl that tried to stop the cameraman? And the girl told the Apple Music rep there are people dead in that crowd, and they said, I'm going to push you off the stage if you don't get off. Mm-hmm. So let's blame him, because he should have communicated that to Travis and said, all right, we'll shut this down.
Yeah, because we don't know what Travis heard, because people were recording and they were chanting stop the show. Mm-hmm. But how are you going to hear stop the show when you have 9,000 speakers and people screaming and people still rapping the lyrics even though they know somebody's unconscious or dead? Like, there's no way. I'm not going to give him 100% benefit of the doubt, because I think that he's probably desensitized to it, because this probably happens all the time where people get knocked unconscious, whatever, from passing out. But I highly doubt that he heard somebody died in his headset and like kept going. I would highly doubt that. Of course, I don't know him. And
yeah, they're saying Kylie said that he didn't find out that people died till the next day.
Yeah. And again, everything with a grain of salt. I can't verify that information, but I just know that it would probably be very difficult to communicate anything on stage to an artist at any given time. Mm-hmm. Because when it comes to the lights and the music and all that other stuff, that's all different parties. He's not security and medical professional and the DJ and working the lights. He's not doing all that stuff at the same time. Usually what all they have in their earpiece is just their song playing in their ear so that they know where to, like, how to perform the song. Because if you're just listening to the beat on the speakers, you're going to perform horribly. So most likely there wasn't a real way to communicate with him anyway. And who knows what anybody knew.
And Drake was out there. How come Drake didn't see them? And stop it, right? Like no one's saying nothing about Drake either. And Drake was on the set when a lot was going on. I don't know, it's just weird how people don't pick and choose.
And what else?
You want to talk about how
No,
police talked to him before the show?
no.
Because that's kind of new information. That the police warned him before the show. He kind of still didn't really listen.
Trying to think of what else. I lost my train of thought. That's what I was just trying
Speaking of
to.
Drake, he actually made a statement 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, it's some sort of ownership is on him, but you know, at the end of the day, it really is on the people that did it. And I'm trying to just continue my thoughts. That's why I just wanted to cook, because I had like a flow of thoughts. Yeah, it's definitely it's crazy. I think that they really should try to do something, because people were talking about having more security and stuff like that. And that would work in the sense that they could stop people from breaking in that didn't like pay for tickets or anything like that. But having an extra 500 security guards in a crowd of tens of thousands of people is not going to do anything. It's not like security could end up getting trampled too. They're not going to be able to control the crowd. Like, that's just not going to happen. I just think that we really should, and I've been thinking this. This is why I never go to festivals, because I think it's like stupid. I don't want to be around a bunch of hot, sweaty people all day. And this is not blaming any of the victims or anybody that went, but I'm just saying in general, we need to rethink the whole idea of having basically unlimited people be able to show up to an area just because the field or the place that they're performing in is so big. Like, it looked like anybody could have been at Rolling Loud, or anybody could have been at any of these different venues. And yeah, but you know, at the same time, these things have happened for years. There's been countless shows like this. There's been countless sporting events where these things don't happen. So something does need to change. What that is, I don't know. I'm not really privy to a lot of the details about how it was organized or security or any of that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, everybody's wrong. Everybody's at fault. The people that threw the event, Travis, the crowd, everybody's at fault. And I'm not saying the victims are at fault, but I'm saying that it was just a recipe for disaster, basically. I think in addition to that, the whole purpose of the Astro Fest in general was to be a community thing for Houston. So I think in general, it was supposed to be something to give back to the community. It's just a shame that that's probably now done.
Astro World is
forever.
definitely done. Which is a shame, because he's been doing this, right? Astro World's been like, he tries to do this festival every year.
Yeah, so
that's a wraps. Unless they do, like, they might have a comeback, you know, in honor of the victims years from now, maybe, but no time soon.
But also, I caught my thought again. So at the Terminal 5 show, because there's a lot of misinformation going on about Travis. So for one, there was that video of Travis telling the crowd to beat people up. That one, obviously, that's pretty irrational. There's no defending that. That's like a wild. That was a wild statement. So I'm definitely not going to defend that. I'm not even going to give it the time to talk about like what he was trying to do there. But what I did want to bring up is that somebody tweeted and it got thousands of likes, thousands of retweets. The guy quoted it saying that this is Travis telling them to beat up the 10-year-old kid, and that's the kid that died. Like, but that clip was from years ago.
And the 10-year-old didn't even die. The youngest victim was 14.
Yeah.
So that was misinformation.
There's a lot of misinformation. People just tweeting things because it was getting a lot of retweets.
They're saying this was a sacrifice, a blood sacrifice.
Wait, let me go. Yo, you had mad
I'm sorry, I'm just bringing it up in case you forget.
I'm not gonna forget.
Can I be like all over social?
So that there was a lot of misinformation there. Also misinformation about Travis telling the guy to jump off the balcony at the Terminal 5 show. He wasn't telling the person on the 3rd floor to jump off the balcony. He was telling somebody on the 2nd balcony, which obviously is above the floor level, to jump down into the crowd because they were hanging off of the balcony and couldn't get back up on the balcony. So he was telling the guy that the crowd to basically jump so that the crowd below could catch him, which is what ended up happening anyway. Because
And he told the crowd to catch them.
yeah, and he told the crowd to catch him. So he wasn't telling people to dive off the top balcony, and the guy ended up becoming paralyzed. That's not what happened at all. And I was there, so I saw it.
Yeah.
I have the videos if I wanted to pull it up, but so there's a lot of misinformation there. This is also not a defend Travis thing, but I just wanted to address overall. People thinking that it was a sacrifice, or those things are funny
It's like,
because I don't even know how to address the people that think that way,
they're so headstrong in their thought. Like,
that it was a sacrifice. So him putting fire on a bird
which he did at the Bird's Eye Tour.
where nobody
4 years
died.
ago,
Yeah.
5 years ago.
I don't know. It's very interesting.
He literally had shirts with flames on it. This is nothing new.
His name is LaFlame.
The merch had flames on it in 2017.
He's been doing this since 2013. So that part was interesting. But also, I don't think that Travis had the power to put flames in a bird on a stage and then crush the crowd. I don't think he has the supernatural powers like that, but maybe he does. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe he hypnotized everybody to crush each other.
Yeah, maybe they know something that I don't know, but I thought that because that's been getting a lot of retweets and likes and stuff on the internet, so it's pretty interesting.
It's like insane. It's like insanity to me.
It's always to the black people though.
Always. When 100 people died at the UK game in Hillsborough from crushing each other, it wasn't a sacrifice then, but it's a sacrifice now. Kanye sacrifices his mom. Travis sacrificed 8 people. It's always black people. We're Jay-Z, Illuminati, Beyonce. I can't.
Yeah.
It's like insanity. It literally makes me feel like I'm going insane when I read those stuff. Cause I'm just like,
Yeah. So, I mean,
Crazy.
at the end of the day, bottom line to summarize it, then I'm going to bed. Rest in peace to the 8 victims. Whenever anybody dies, I feel a certain way about it because I just know how death impacts me when it's somebody that I know. And I take it extremely hard, and I know how, one death impacts me. And I put myself in the family's shoes, so I can't imagine what's going
You don't
on.
want to watch that video of the guy's brothers. I was literally about to cry on the ride home, like back here. It was a lot. That would literally mess you up. I know.
Yeah, so rest in peace. Yeah, it's can't even say anything.
It's pointless. For no reason. I hate deaths that are pointless. A lot of deaths are just pointless. Like that guy, Henry, what was his name? Diggs? We didn't even get into that, but we don't really even need to talk on that. What's that guy's name? I don't even know his name. The guy who killed that girl in the car, drunk driving, a Raiders player. Like, it's just, I hate pointless deaths. Now it's just pointless. Like the girl in the crowd said, like when she was in that crowd, she never realized there's another way to die. Like she never like wrapped her mind around that you could die in that way. Cause that's not something you think. Cause that's like such a bizarre thing that humans are crushing each other. Like that's such a bizarre concept. It's just stupid.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really all I got. I was gonna finish my thought about death and everything like that, but just rest in peace to everybody. And yeah, everybody stay safe. I think there's definitely a way to do these things, but me, I just stay away because if there's one thing, you can't put your faith in people. Mm-hmm. And these are the types of things that happen. Nobody has common sense anymore.
Yeah, honestly, like I feel like to go off what you said, have fun, enjoy life, but there's certain situations just avoid. Like I don't need to be pressed to be up against a fence. Like I'll pay VIP to go backstage and meet the artist if I want to be close to them. I'm gonna pay the extra money to do that. I'm not gonna risk my life to be in a crowd. It's not even fun.
And this is not victim blaming.
It's not victim. No, I'm not victim blaming at all. Yeah, let's say that. I'm just saying going forward perspective. Like let this be a lesson learned. That's not. Some of these things are not worth it. It's really not worth it.
And it's not enjoyable.
It's not. It's not like I said, Terminal 5 was fun, but at one point it wasn't.
But even then, we were still in the back. We weren't in the front.
Yeah. And
there were people even further back than us than we were. I think that on camera, I think that this is the big problem, and this is for a whole nother day if I even ever did this. But we're humans, so everything we do, we see You know, the visuals, everything is visuals. Twitter, you're seeing what people are saying. Instagram, you're looking at people's pictures. On the TV and on clips, yeah, the shows look very lit. Like if you go back and watch Virgil Abloh when he came out, and then he dropped "Look at Me."
ASAP song.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It was Lord Pretty Flacco Julie too.
And everybody was moshing. But that was like when it was fun. Nobody was crushing. We
Yeah,
were
people
pushing
weren't wilding out.
around, like that typical moshing
But
stuff.
the visuals look tremendous. A bunch of people jumping up and down in a crowd simultaneously looks great. But when you're actually in there, is the complete opposite of that.
I was like, like it was a lot.
Like it sounds good in theory. Like when
was a
Kanye's
lot.
floating across the stage and everybody's underneath the stage and people following back and forth, like it looks good visually, but to actually be experiencing it, bumping into a bunch of people that you don't know. Even at the Terminal 5 show, I ended up on the ground.
Yeah,
but
I had
Some
money. I found $100. Money falling all over the place. Like it was a lot.
luckily for me, because I was in the middle of the pit. I don't even know how I ended up falling, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck?
But this big diesel guy, like, he picked me up like I was a bag and then put
But
me
that's
back on my
concert
feet.
etiquette. Like that's what you're supposed to do. If somebody falls, pick them up. That's literally a saying. Like
Yeah, he
no
literally
contact.
stopped and then went back to what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed me like I was a shopping bag,
Picked you up. Make
picked
sure
me
you
up,
was good.
and then I was like, all right, I'm out of here. This-
I was like one and done. Okay, remember I even said that too recently. I'm like, I kind of want to do a Travis show again because like I see
you know, I
how,
kept telling you no.
and now look, because like I don't know, I could think of what you're saying. Like the thought of it is fun. It looks fun, but it really is like
You don't want to go
Not
for the
fun.
crowd. You want to go for the artist, and that's the thing. But you have to deal with the crowd to look at the artist, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem with the. But what I respect about somebody like, in comedy this is a reach, comedy versus music. But what I respect about people like Dave Chappelle or some of the other comedians that do this is that Dave will play small rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll randomly just show up somewhere and then just play like a small venue, and you could basically dap him up on stage.
and there's seats, so you can't stand. You have to be seated.
And this is not an attack at Kevin Hart by any means at all, but just in comparison, because we've never seen a comedian be able to sell out what he sells out. But you can have Dave, and you can have Kevin too. He could do it too. But you have Dave that could play a small room, but then you have Kevin Hart playing stadiums. It's kind of like the difference. Like you would feel better in that small, intimate setting than you would at the big stage. Like, yeah, it looks cool visually, but in reality, if you're there for the artist and their music, you don't care
You
about
can't
the
even
crowd.
see them. Like when you're in these big stadiums, you can't even see them if you're in bad seats. You can't even really hear them.
Maybe
Like,
you'll feed off the energy, and I do understand that. But in general, of course, the more people you're around, the more dangerous it is. And being crowded in any scenario is not good. Like I work in New York, and I'm on crowded subways and trains and stuff
it's
like
just
that, and
panic,
it's
just
just
gives you panic attacks, right? Kind of low key, like
it don't give me panic attacks, but like
just knowing if something went wrong, you're stuck in this train with people who are gonna stampede each other to get out.
It's a
Like,
mess.
not a good feeling.
we just gotta if people are gonna continue to throw festivals and do these giant concerts and stuff like that, there just has to be a better way to go about doing it. Yeah. And somebody has to figure that out. Or do it like how Kanye did it, like, and not everybody can sell at arena. Most people can't. But when we were at the MSG show, everybody had their seats, and then if you paid more, then you could be on the floor and
Yeah.
chased around the stage if you want to do
And
that.
even the floor had a limit of numbers.
Yeah, and it wasn't that many people.
Mm-hmm.
It really wasn't in comparison. Madison Square Garden is huge. It was like a pretty small number of people in that one section. So maybe have it like that where you're either forced to sit down and relax and everybody's forced to be separate. And then the people that want to still wild out anyway, then there's a limited number of people that can do that. And they can pay more money. But when you have all 50,000 people wilding out, it's just one of those unfortunate things. But I hope somebody that does these events, like Live Nation has all of the money in the world. They own mad different venues. They own Terminal 5 too.
I forgot they did.
So
Yeah, there has to be a better way. Like if you have all these hundreds of thousands of people, you have
I'm not
to.
going to figure it out, but somebody
Yeah.
else should. But
It seemed like a hard task to figure out because it is like I said, when
Just
you
have
have a
less
group
people.
of people and to have less people, like you said, Dave Chappelle is a good example. Like have a million different shows and just separate them into chunks.
I'm going to bed, but there's an even further discussion about this because the reason why artists do festivals and shows and like all this stuff in the first place, it all goes back to issues with the music industry. But I'm not going to get into the music industry
for them to make their money,
because that's the only way that they could really make money. They wouldn't really do they wouldn't do shows. Like, that's why you see Kanye don't do shows, Jay-Z don't do shows,
and they honestly probably don't really even love
Kendrick
doing them
don't
back
do
to back like that.
shows.
Like, I know a lot of these artists do feed off the energy and they love actually meeting their supporters in person, but I can't imagine it being fun performing the same set for hundreds of shows in a row. I can't imagine that to be fun. Like, a lot of artists actually, like, when you get the inside scoop on touring life, they're like, oh my God, 20 more shows to go. Like, it's a lot of them do feed off it, but a lot of them hate it. And like you said, they probably wouldn't even do it if they were making more money from actually selling their stuff, their art.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, I feel that too, it actually forces a lot of people to become performers. A lot of artists are probably not even performers. You know, like you heard Summer Walker say she has like anxiety. She just wants to make her art. She doesn't want to stay on that stage and sing to people.
And from what I've heard,
And you
people
had to
said
force it to her to do it.
her performances are not good. From what I've heard,
Yeah, they said she's standing like that emoji,
which is fine.
which
for
is
me.
fine because that's not what she wants to do. But
'Cause I don't care.
She wants to make her money. That's probably why she does it.
If I'm there for the music, that's all I care about. Like how I was saying, because I make music, so obviously the goal in life is to become a producer. For me, it's not so much about the money or fame, because I don't have a producer tag or anything like that. I'm not gonna be like one of those people.
Just spreading your art.
But yeah, it's more about art, and obviously you want as many people to experience your art as possible. But like I was telling you before, like months, if not years ago, was the next time I want to go to, and I think it was Travis specifically, it was like, I want to be like backstage. Like, I might want to be there, peek out for a little bit, see how crazy it is, and then go back in. Like, I don't want to
Be in the crowd. That's
Be
why
in
if
the
we go to
crowd.
concerts going forward,
never going to a
VIP.
concert
No,
again.
I'm saying, but VIP.
I'm going to
VIP.
R&B. I'm going to R&B concerts.
Yeah, because you said we went to Brett Fires. It was a vibe.
Oh my God, it was a vibe.
And I want to go to a store like that. I've never been to an R&B show.
It was so fire.
I mean, I went to Beyonce.
I was about to dap him up, but he was singing. But like, that's how close you were. Like, and that was before he popped, but still, like,
Just intimate
literally no
shows.
no difference in distance between me and you. Like, he came off the stage and
It was a
just
small venue in New York, right?
small venue, hole in the
Do you
wall.
remember what it was called? Because I know there's like a place that some girls performing at. It's called like Baby's Place or something.
No, it's not that.
Oh.
But I could figure out the venue. But that's the vibe. Obviously, once you get to a certain status, you want to make your money. You're not. It costs you money to go outside. It costs you money for security. You need to be
And
able
scary.
to recoup.
Probably scary going outside to all these events, all these people's faces. That can't be fun.
And I get that, but like, this is just one of those things where something bad happens and you try to think of all the different ways that it could be prevented. So it's just throwing pain at the
It just
wall.
gets deep.
It gets really deep. If you really want to talk about it, if you want to talk about labels taking performance royalties, they put out Summer Walker stuff. I think they take 35% of
Treasure made a statement on that today too. I didn't read it.
35% of her non-music revenue, meaning that anything that she does at all, no matter what it is,
Like Instagram ads.
if she sold a T-shirt for $100, she only gets $35.
They basically own her.
Yeah, that kind of stuff will push people to do or will clout chase, basically try to make as much money as possible. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna get into the music industry. At the end of the day, it's everyone's fault, and rest in peace to the victims. And yeah, that's all I got.
You know, that's why I meant to add real quick too. Something that I thought was crazy. That one of the victims, I don't know, this needs to be a fact check, but they said he was 500 pounds and 6'2". Doesn't that seem like kind of like crazy? I don't know how true this is, but they said one of the victims was 500 pounds and 6'2". That can't be real.
That could be real.
I mean, I did see a picture of like, I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures that came out, but there was a picture of a lot of people piled up. And I saw somebody who looked pretty big in the pile. So it could be him. You know? But that's just kind of crazy. I feel like even if like that just doesn't seem safe. I mean, I'm sure he's been to concert before, but I feel like being like that heavy set doesn't even seem safe to be like in any type of crowd, you know? Dehydration, just breathing has to be a lot more difficult when you're heavier.
I feel like I mismatched, but people were talking about Travis's, and then I promise I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
People were talking about Travis's apology.
Yeah.
I think that, so let me preface this, not defending Travis. No matter what he said, it wasn't going to work. Nobody was going to accept it.
EMI said that today.
And if he didn't say anything, then that would have been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lose-lose situation. So with that being said, I don't know. I don't know him as a person, so that's why it's tough for me to judge the genuineness of it. Because I think if
Sorry to interrupt, but the rubbing of the head thing just seemed like a social anxiety thing. Like he does seem like kind of awkward, right? Like I feel like he just didn't know what to say, and he just kind of like subconsciously was just rubbing his head. I don't think he was acting or doing that on purpose to seem sad. Oh, he's rubbing his head so he
I don't
looks
even
more
think
sad.
that that's a normal.
Like I think he was just really have loss of words and was overthinking. He probably thought about that for hours before he was gonna say, and if it was gonna be the right thing to say. Like I don't think he was like, let me rub my head and look sad. Like he seems like he's just awkward.
I think that even if he was sitting there crying on the story, it wouldn't have made a
Yeah,
difference.
he's faking. He's pushing those tears out. Like this is.
But yeah, so that's quick there. And then we got SZA. This is everybody has been putting out stuff. So SZA was there. She put out. Said basically that she was devastated as well. Roddy Ricch was there. He's donating all of his proceeds to the families. And Drake just posted, he said, I've spent the past few days trying to wrap my mind around this devastating tragedy. I hate resorting to this platform to express an emotion as delicate as grief, but this is where I find myself. My heart is broken for the families and friends of those who lost their lives, and for anyone who is suffering. I will continue to pray for all of them and will be of service in any way I can. May God be with you all.
You know what's funny though? Some of the comments was like, "Oh, you know how to say nothing, Drake. It's not your fault." But he performed 5 songs, and a lot of the songs he was performing is when this was happening. So if Travis saw it, then wouldn't have Drake seen it too? He was on the same stage. I don't know why people just ride so hard for him, and he could do no wrong in people's eyes. It's just I don't get it.
He's the white knight of music.
Like literally, they said that the crush was happening because Drake came on stage, and everybody was rushing the stage. So I'm sure people were dying during Drake's set, and he performs 5 songs. So, but Drake didn't see it though.
That's a long set.
Only Travis saw it. Drake didn't see it while he was right next to him. Like I just don't like that. If you're gonna be mad at Travis, be mad at anybody who was on that stage at that time that when that happened. Like you can't be mad at SZA. SZA performed hours before, and the crowd was calm. But Drake was there when this was happening too. So if you think Travis saw it, like then Drake probably seen it too. You know. Like, how is it like now all of a sudden, oh, Drake, you don't have to say nothing. It's okay, baby. Like, girls trying to be funny. You don't have to say nothing. You're innocent. Like, it's just, I don't get it. And I know I'm like a Kanye D-rider, but I try to hold him accountable when I can. I'm not about to be like, if Drake's on that stage, he don't have to say nothing. He don't have to donate. He don't have to do nothing. But he was there for 5 of the songs. And literally everybody who was there was like, yeah, when Drake came out, that's when it got worse. Which, duh, that's another huge celebrity that just came on the stage, and you think that nothing was happening. The crowd wasn't crushing people all of a sudden when Drake was out. Like, I don't know, it's just weird how nobody's like mad at him either when he was on the stage. Like he could have easily stopped the show too if you're, that's all I'm saying. Like it's all about just, if you're gonna be mad at Travis, then you kind of have to wonder what Drake was doing when this was happening too, and if he saw anything. So that's I'm just all about keeping that same energy across the board. Like you can't single out who you want to be mad at. You could be mad at everybody else, the cameraman, the people that were there, security, but Drake is in the clear. Like I don't really understand that, but yeah, I mean I'm happy that he put out something though. 'Cause I was kind of getting worried. I was like, I figured Drake needed to say something. You were there in the heat of it, so I'm happy he said something. But it just seemed like it was weird that everybody's statements were coming out today, right? Like all the Kardashians and his came out today. This seems weird, but
Don't do that again.
Sorry. But yeah, I guess like the very last thing we could say too, like I said, like it was Houston PD said they did warn Travis before the show, so I kind of that's some kind of another just damper to whatever type of like argument that he makes. Cause that is kind of like, all right, you did have a warning, and I don't know if it's normal for him to get warnings. We don't know all the details. That's the thing. Like it's hard to really judge when we don't know all the details. Like we don't know. It might be a normal practice that he gets warnings, right? We don't know, but maybe not. Because, like, it is probably a different energy down there. Like, you're in Houston. You're in the hometown of where he's from, Like the home area. So the crowds are probably crazier than any other place in the country, So maybe it's not normal for him to get heads up from the police. But that's kind of like a red flag, too. Like, that's only going to weaken his case, Like, you had a warning. And you still kind of didn't try to control anything. And like I said, there's not really nothing he could have really done.
I also don't think he'll be like liable for anything that happened personally.
Maybe not.
I don't see how you could.
I mean, but somebody who said they were a lawyer, they said that from their standpoint, they literally made a list of people who would probably get sued. She said Apple Music, Live Nation,
Why would Apple Music
and
be sued?
Travis, because they coordinated the event too. Like the live stream was their event, and you could hear people screaming on their live stream. Like the stream that they literally was going out. Like, you know how we sat here and watched the Rolling Loud. When you listen to some of the playback from Apple Music, you hear people screaming and saying "Stop the show." Like, you can actually hear it
Why would Travis be liable then?
because it was his show. I don't know. Like, from a lawyer standpoint, you probably could sue for damages along all that. Like, everybody could get hit with stuff. I think they already said some lawsuits already open right now. I'm not sure who they're against, but I mean, I'm sure there's a way in the system that Travis could be liable since it was his show. And I'm sure there's gonna be something. They'll figure out a way to sue everybody and make them all pay. So
Yeah, they could put as many lawsuits as they want, but that don't
it might
mean
not
nothing.
go through.
I don't mean nothing.
It might not go through, but we'll see.
Also,
My back.
I'm sure Live Nation will willingly pay out all their insurance money.
Yeah, that's why they got insurance. Oh my God, good thing I didn't get that job at Live Nation. Thank you, Live Nation, for not accepting me for that accounting job. Because they might lay off people if that bad of a suit. I mean, I'm sure it's not. I mean, it might be, right? It might be.
They don't even have any money as it is.
I can't even imagine how that books will look, too, from an accounting standpoint. Oh my God. Thank you, Live Nation.
They're about to go out of business anyway because of COVID. So,
Thank you, Live Nation. I'm good at Prudential.
don't make it about yourself.
No, I'm just saying. It's just funny because, like, you know, I was really sad about not getting that job. I wanted it. I'm not making much. I'm just saying. Just weird. Life is just weird. But yeah. Anything else? I know you're tired and you gotta go to work.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast where we talked about literally two things.
Yeah, two things, yeah. And Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But
Thank
yeah,
you guys for watching.
Thank you.
As always,
See you guys next week.
see you guys later.